Alright, guys, what's up? We are here. It is going to be Bronze to GM Masters 2+. We've got a Zerg versus Terran game against Chosper, a 5.1k GM player. And the reason we're compiling this all into one show is it's hard for me to find volunteers of Masters 2 and have everyone in like progressing MMR, which is what we kind of tried to do for all of the other shows. It's just really hard to do that. I'm also playing people who are quite close to my skill level. Some of these guys I play on the ladder and have good matches with. So there's a few changes. We're going to be using roaches every game to make ourselves much safer in ZVP. In Zerg vs. Zerg, we're going to be adding alternate builds because my opponents know what the main build is. And I realized, hey, I can't play against high-level players with them knowing what my build is before the game even starts. Now, you don't need to pull off minerals onto gas, guys. That's something we might do in a different matchup where we want to start Ling speed straight away, but not in this one. Alright. Third base. I think I'll go third base out there. I do kind of like that expansion pattern. Alright, build this overload. I'm still sticking to the standard opening with the quick Ling speed. I guess that's one thing I didn't think about here. Main thing though is we're still just working on 8 queens, guys. 8 queens is obviously like the way to play. Actually, I'm pulling off gas a little early. I guess this is just habit for me now in this matchup. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. This is what I do as standard in this matchup at my own skill level, so why not? Why not? I guess I built the Overlord a little early, but that's all right. So you want to send a drone down here, get there before the Reaper arrives, so you can just always send a certain drone out of an egg to make sure you remember to do it. And then we just want to do the basic A-move lings, pull back weak one, pull back all lings, send strong ones forward, run them all away. Now, keep building drones. 32, third base. Inject, inject. We want to go Ling speed? Nah. Third queen first and foremost. Then the Overlord. Put the Lings up there to block the jump-in path. So we go Overlord, and now we can go Ling speed and pull that last one off gas. No worries. Alright, guys. So we're looking pretty good. Lings are going to try to keep kind of staying near the wall-off paths. 3 more drones, you can see we're supply block, but that's why we built that Overlord ahead of time. We built another Overlord down here as well. Alright, we're going to put the Creep Tumor kind of far back. And he's still going to get it, even though we put it far back. He had to come in at exactly the right moment to do that. That's okay, guys. We're going to see if we can catch him not looking. Send the Overlord up to the top. He was looking. Build another Overlord. Alright, guys, so we have 3 queens. Now, if you want, you could delay the Creep Tumor there. And normally I would actually have put a Creep Tumor down rather than the first inject in this matchup. So that's something, expect that to change. Now, because we've got 2 mineral lands saturated, you want to start non-stop queen production. And we want to start railing to the third, so we're going to start that queen there as well. I don't know what's going on, so 4 minutes. Make sure that Overlord's sacrificing through, inject. Get these queens going. Lots more drones. Oh, he does have Hellions. I was wondering. I was like, I don't think I've seen any Hellions coming. So I'm just going to stay on these 4 Zerglings. But now we see Hellions. So I'm going to build 5 more pairs of Lings. Going to keep building Overlords. I'm building 3. You might think, well, you've already got enough supply free. But remember, guys, I'm sacrificing an Overlord. So we know that we're going to be losing that soon. Okay? Going to spread some creep. This guy can come to the front. Now we've got 5 queens all on 1 key, guys. Oh, looks like he's going Banshee, by the way. So 3rd command center into Banshee, no worries. We can build spores at 445. So what we want to do now is you want to split your queens up, guys. You want to do that by default. So I've got 2nd queen key here, other queen key out there. And 445, let's get a spore in each base. Oh! Alright, he killed a queen, so I kind of need to bring those together now. Let's start a lair as well. Very important you start a lair. Alright. Alright, spread some creep, get them back together. Alright, as your third's mostly saturated, you want to go 2nd gas Baneling Nest. Okay. And I'm going to build a few more Lings. Also, we expect the Banshee to hit my main. So these queens are going to be down here close by. We'll add an Overseer to their key when we can. Inject, inject, inject. And you can see that we're still droning up here because we've seen a 3rd command center, so we have no fear of a 2-base all in. We're going to try to take all of these. Trying to spread creep across all of it. And yeah, there's the Banshee coming towards the main guys. So we're just trying to run the Lings back. So you can see he had to back off. All right, double macro hatch, if we can get to it. All right, we'll see if we can surround these Hellions at the same time. This is a very scary point in the game, guys. We're gonna build a few more Lings and then nothing but Overlords and drones. And these guys, we're just gonna keep spreading the Lings so he doesn't get the killer shots. We'll build another one of these. Okay. Rebuild that hatchery. Looks like he managed to kill it. Put guys on gas. And let's spread creep. Okay, spread creep. I'm kind of jumping between tasks. That's habit for me, guys. If you can't do that yet, you might not want to do that until you're much more experienced as a player. So just be very wary. Now, I accidentally went 6 gas. I'm only actually meant to be going 5 gas with this Infestor Zergling style that we play. But hey, it is what it is. Alright, we're gonna make some Banes. Alright, I'm putting all of my queens on one hotkey because it's past the point where the Hellion Banshee is hitting 2 places at once. So we're gonna need that hotkey for our Infestors in a little bit. It's just kind of not that important. Okay, so I'm not ready to fight, so what I'm doing is I'm sending my Lings around to cut off his reinforcement, okay? Cancel the hatchery. Just let it die, that's fine. Passaging glands. Oh! You gotta remember that Terran players are actually mad dogs. They will push in at the craziest times. He's got a lot of Marines coming out, so we're gonna make a big pack of Banelings. Alright. Now, because he's got a 4th building... Oh! Okay, guys, that's a massive Marines. Very, very good. Okay. Fortunately, we're throwing away a lot of units right now. We just made his whole army stim, that's good. Okay. So he's done a really good job of just kind of getting ahead in this game. Whoops. That's meant to be a hatchery. So we're refusing to fight him front on right now and just trying to back away. Okay, these guys are going to go for a big boom on that planetary. We're going to re-expand to this bottom side, but I can't cancel any more bases or I'll be too far behind to ever contest him in this game. So we're going to build some Infestors now. Right. So we're just going to blow the planetary up, guys. We're going to get Overseer speed, +2 carapace. We've got Infestors here as well. Slowly scouting that side of the map. And building a lot of drones there. Just going to move that Ling forward. Just gonna see if I can blow this up one more time. And we really need to drone this base behind it goes. Inject, inject, inject. Build 6 drones down there. These guys are on my my dumping key, which I'm actually using as a control group right now. Let's get a spire. Do we want a spire? No, we don't need that. Okay. So that's alright. He's microing this really hard. And And he can keep trying that as much as he wants. Just put extra units there, guys. And as long as our creep is getting back out there, and we've got these bases mining, we're going to be in a pretty good spot, okay?
Mineral field depleted.
We've got infestors out here.
Mineral field depleted.
And we can go hive now. Okay. We'll get a spire as well, because he was pretty heavy on tanks. And we are going to take that hatchery on the top. So what do we at? 75 drones, which is still not what you want for this deep in the game, guys. But we can see he's moving forward, so this is where we win the game with Fungal. Ah, it's only a double drop. Okay. I was expecting a little bit more of an army there. So notice we're controlling the map with this, guys. So we can take 2 more gases, as well as a few more drones. This is going to give us a late game economy to really pump units. Inject, inject. And notice I'm still transferring these workers, and we're going to take that middle hatchery as well. And we're just spreading creep everywhere. Let's get burrow, because burrowed infestors are amazing. And I think we can just put lots of spores there, as well as a few spines, just because why not? I mean, he's on 4 base, but I don't think he has a 5th yet. He might actually. We've got to be careful. So notice we're just spreading creep. That's how we're getting ahead. 3-3 adrenal glands, ultra cavern. Try to finish those tasks quickly if you can. And just keep dropping changelings and use these guys for scouting. Notice I'll use the deselecting to try and get as much vision as possible. Just trying to spread them across. I'll build a few corruptors to make it 5. The rest is just Ling Bane. Alright, we're going to make ultras, keep the army simple. The corruptors are just there to stop him being annoying with drops, because he's been annoying with drops. I normally wouldn't bother with them, but it's just going to make my life easier. You can see he's got a very big army up. And actually, he's got so many tanks, and he's still building them. So this is definitely the right call. Okay. So what we want to actually do here, guys, is we're going to split big pack of Ling Bane up. They're going to go down here. These guys here. A few more of those guys. And we're going to go broods. All right, these guys are going to go down here.
Metamorphosis complete.
All right, these guys. Just try to blow up the turrets if we can. Cool. So notice we're making broodlords, guys. If your opponent's on heavy tanks, you always want to go broods. I think I built a few more corruptors. Maybe, maybe not. Alright, we're going to try and split these guys up here. Just see if we can do some damage there. It's going to be tough, but it's really important to get those broodlords or you can't really break their positions. We're also going to grab my creep queens and throw those onto my army hotkey. Yeah. This guy's just threatening up there, not really getting anything done, that's fine. Alright, these guys can be on hotkey 9. Okay, there we go. That's going to be my broodlords. We're going to use those to push guys. And I'm going to bring these queens to the front as well, just because I feel like I've got enough hatcheries to have unlimited production. I might need to rebuild the queens later, But for now, I'd rather have transfuse and just like a little bit of extra anti-air. I also do feel like, I don't know. Oh, actually, these guys should probably both be in my army, because I don't have any overseers. Alright, let's go. So we're going to start pushing now. So notice I'm going to dump these overseers. I'm going to click one on each broodlord, and the other guys are coming to join just my hotkey. Trying to siege from nice and far away here. Move, shoot if necessary. Ah, okay. Oh! So he just came in with those ghosts. I was blind. Because remember, he killed the Overseer before, so we gotta do that. Keep transfusing. Alright, Broodlords are gonna go forward there. And you got to move forward your individual infestors looking for the fungals. And if you can get really good ones, then you can even go for the full engage. That was pretty crazy the way I went for the engage there, I'm not going to lie. And dance the infestor back and forth if you can. Alright, I'm going to wait for more infestors right now. That micro is not the best. I'm not used to talking at all during that micro, so it's kind of funny. Normally I have tunnel vision and I do my weird tongue micro. But he actually microed pretty well, so well done. I still think we did pretty okay there, but we definitely could have done a lot better. Obviously, I was behind this game, which is why we're having to do all the correct things kind of from behind. Whereas if we weren't so far behind to begin with, I think this would be a much nicer game. Now, one thing I've done is I keep headbutting the same angle, right? It's not really the brightest idea. So let's move up here, attack a new angle. Keep building more infestors, more corruptors, and also more Winged Bane. Trying to get these guys in the mineral line, because if they're in the mineral line, then they are going to do a lot of damage to his guys as well. I don't know why, but it felt like my infestors weren't on the right hotkey there, so that was super weird, man. Alright, yeah. I think I probably hit the wrong button on my keyboard. It's probably what happened. Alright, I'm morphing a lot more Broodlords, which is not a good idea right now. I should be swapping back into full Hydraling and Hydraling Bane Viper even, potentially. I'm going to make 2 Vipers right now. Obviously, with these infestors not having energy, that costs me in a big way. We're going to make a few more guys onto the gases. And a few more drones there as well, because we've got to obviously take a lot longer. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Creep spread's very important. He's messed up his rally, I guess.
A creature is under attack. Our forces are under
Okay.
attack.
I really wanted these guys to blow up that top base. Guess it is what it is. Cool.
A creature is under attack.
Let's build a few more of these. Try and get that. Try and get those Hydra upgrades. Just gonna have more backup overseers up here as well.
Autosis has lit
He just came forward with some sneaky boys.
I would like to see a show match 1v1 between these two if you catch my drift. On a more serious note, what do you think about GSL semi-speed?
So he did a really nice ambush on my broods there.
Our forces are under attack.
Okay, all these overseers going down as well is obviously not great. Okay, these guys, so that can go there. These guys are just gonna try to come through around this way. Don't know, if I lose all those drones, I lose all those drones. It's not the end of the world. And if I can get them out, that's probably a good idea there. Right?
A tumor is under attack. The hive cluster is under metamorphosis. Mineral field. Our forces
We're making a crazy number of banelings right now. These guys are going to start retaking these top hatcheries right now.
under attack.
ZVT is very hard if you let them get ahead of you guys. It's a very hard matchup.
Field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
I think we can take him out there. I think we could take this army out, can't we? Maybe, maybe not. He's going to try and retreat, is he? Okay.
Forces are under attack.
I just need one good fungal to initiate, that's it. So I forgot a key upgrade, it's called Neuroparasite, guys. Apparently pathogen glands never got made. That's why I didn't have fungal on those infestors earlier. Ah, okay. Okay, because that was a fight where I really wanted to just neural all the Thors, and then I realized I forgot to make the upgrade.
Tumor is under attack.
So that's not going to do too well. That is like a, because it's a game turnaround upgrade. It really is like one of those upgrades that just wins you games that you were in a really bad position in. GG's, I think. I made way too many Hydras now. Where are my Vipers, by the way? I didn't use any Blinding Clouds in that fight. That was a big mistake. I knew there was a unit that I'd forgotten about in that fight. I normally don't use such complicated compositions. I normally keep it pretty simple for myself, but in that case, it's yes.
Tumor is under attack.
Alright. Alright, we're gonna get like one more army back up. And we're just gonna look for a better engagement. A lot of people are like, oh, I've lost the game, fuck man. And yeah, sure, but it's I would say more important for you to get practice doing the things correctly so that next time you can do it right. So if rather than, you know, even if you've like in this game, I'm almost certainly dead, right? But if we can just get one good Lingbane Hydra engagement, which is usually what you want to play in late game, because I was so far behind, I never went to that comp, because that comp is always inefficient. And my first Broodlord timing was also very slow. I kind of thought of it afterwards, right? Whereas if I'd been beelining towards it, I would have hit it at a much more crisp timing. Oh, fucking snipe. Oh, wow, wow. Alright, alright. Yeah, I mean, the thing is I still got 55 drones up, so
A creep tumor is
I
under
can definitely make some armies. Alright, so what we're going to do, guys, we put a few burrowed infestors out. More lings, more banes, more hydras needed. He does scan the infestor, well done. Looks like he killed 2 of them. Obviously, ling run buys are really good, because usually they only leave tanks to defend. Move those hydras underneath. Okay. It's a lot of hydras. I think with a few more infestors, some neurals could be pretty game changing, right? Don't have any overseers right now. That's very dangerous. Can't be relying just on fungal to reveal their units. Alright. So really we just want to catch him in a bit of a clump. That's the whole thing. So I'm gonna go around with Zerglings again, because I feel like that's the only way to really get this to happen. Ah, fucking piece of shit. I thought I had the Vipers on follow command, but I didn't. Alright, I'm just going for it. I'm too annoyed at this point. We tried to do a whole lot of neurals, but looks like all the infestors were a bit too far up front. So you might think, oh cool, you're back in it. Great fight. No. I'm dead, guys. I'll build another bunch of drones and try to rebuild my army, but... Oh, hello. Forgot that was there. Okay. A few more infestors. A few more vipers. A few more hydras. Try to run up there and maybe kill these depots. Maybe I'll have to rebuild some of that.
Our forces are under attack.
Yeah, but we get sniped, so gotta be careful. Some nice fungals. More hydras, more lings, more banes. Alright. I mean, I can try to take this top base because I feel like he's just going to ignore it, right? And more importantly, I should probably take that bottom base for sure. Yeah, for sure. Let's build 3 more drones, 3 more. That's the maximum number of drones I think I want to build. Because this is going to be an ultra efficiency game more than anything. I'm going to make 1 more overseer because these guys are so weak. Okay. This could lure him into the open, so maybe this works. Alright. These guys, Vipers, are going to follow the infestors. Mass Ling, Mass Ling, Mass Bane. Let's go. Okay. I'm going to send a single Hydra down there just as a distraction. Okay. So if his whole army is there, it shouldn't work, right? Attacking there shouldn't make sense. How many Hydras we got? Going up to about 16. make sure I get +3 range. I never got it from earlier. Alright, I'm gonna go blow that base up because it has a lot of minerals on it. We'll lose this base in return, guys. Oh, I was not expecting him to be out there.
Mineral field depleted.
So we copped a pretty big EMP there. Lots of Zerglings.
Under attack.
Oh shit, he's coming. I didn't realize he'd be here so fast. That's a big problem for me, guys. That was not the fight that I was looking for. I thought he'd just be a little bit slower to move down, but oh well. Because Hydras are really expensive units. You basically never want to be losing Hydras, guys. Good snipe by him. That's probably a planetary, right? It's not. Okay. Things are going in there. It's pretty nice. He doesn't have much mining right now. The problem is that he should still have a few thousand resources in the bank. So that's where the problem lies, guys. One of the many. Alright, I went in with the investors and then tried to pull back to dodge the EMP, but I pulled back half a second too late. Oh, no, don't go that way, guys. Don't go that way. He's got a lot of Thors, a few Marauders. Okay. Like I said, the problem is that rally. So Hydraling Bane, there's a reason why people use this in late game. It's just because it's not too vulnerable to the tank ghost. Obviously tanks aren't bad. Like en masse, I do think tanks beat it, but tanks are so weak to Broodlords, which is why a crisp Broodlord timing almost always kills a player who's like very tank focused. But I think this is a really good example just of some different compositions we can do. And I think it was also just a good example of how 10 seconds slow, 20 seconds slow, and making your proper transitions gets you totally fucked in this matchup. GG, well played. Let's check his bank and everything. We got him down to 126 supply, guys. Yeah, this was actually his last army. So my efficiency was pretty off the hook in that late game. Earlier, it was terrible, right? I was way behind. But the fact that we ground him down to no income and just this army, like that was actually surprisingly close, right? considering how screwed I was. Just looking for the good fights. All right, let's take a look. So guys, we can go to 630 and we can see I'm at 55 drones versus 55. So at this point, that is terrible. You should not be even on workers with Terran pretty much ever. You should always be ahead. If they catch up to you at some point, you're both at 80 SCVs, that's fine. You should have been at 80 drones way earlier than they were at 80 SCVs. But we weren't able to do that this game. And I think this macro, the double macro hatch is part of it. You really don't need a double macro hatchery this early, guys. I also ended up kind of messing up with my queens. So it's kind of funny because like this is showcasing how unused I am to commentating nonstop while playing the most mechanical matchup. ZVT is insanely mechanical on both sides for Zerg and Terran. And early on, I was losing queens for no reason. And then I was like putting my queens all on one control group because that's what I've been teaching you guys in the lower leagues. And then I was like, no, I really need to split these queens into two groups. And then I'd split them up. And then I'd lose a queen and be like, oh, I've only got like 2 queens now, and it feels like the Hellions can fight them, so I'm going to put them back on 1 key. Then I split them back up into 2 keys. This highlights the importance of organizing things in a system and doing it from the start. This is classic. I'm halfway between teaching you guys stuff I was teaching you in lower level and teaching you how to play basically like a pro, how to do the high level play, right? So I was kind of methodically, slowly talking about things a lot when I needed to just be doing things in a very organized fashion. So you can see here the queens were split up. Then I wasn't watching. Just really nice move, gets a queen. But then I'm like, oh, fuck, man. Like, shit, that's so sloppy for me, right? And my creep spread in general was very slow because I didn't put that early creep tumor down. You're meant to go creep tumor first in Zerg vs Terran. You're not meant to inject straight away on that expansion. So, you know, we're just going to show you guys a proper, you know, a proper creep tumor spread on the natural next time. Get that one out. We're going to split the queens up. And as a result, we should be able to block the Hellion Banshee much more effortlessly, even though the Banshees didn't really do any more damage. We should then be able to drone a 4th base, right? Really fucking early. And easily stop it. But if you're losing your 5th base, your 4th base, you're basically, you've lost the early game. And I think there's a lot of people who have mental hemorrhaging of all sorts who basically are always like, but look, you couldn't do anything in late game. Guys, we were so far behind the curve. Chos did a really clean macro game with some good pressure. We were really fucking far behind. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, do this. Okay, let's talk about the Broodlord transition, because I still think I could have killed him with the first Broodlord timing if I controlled that properly. Problem, or not controlled it properly, but committed properly. I've only got 5 Corruptors morphing into Broods, and then I needed to then build more Corruptors and then wait for them to finish. If I hit here at the 14-minute mark, it's a very different story. Because right now, guys, he has 6 Ghosts, he doesn't have that much energy, so it's a problem, but it's not that big a problem. I've got 4 Infestors full on energy, right? He also doesn't have any Thors. But instead, what do? I give him an extra 2 minutes till I push. If I hit when there was 1 Thor and 2 Vikings popping out, or even less than that, a couple Ghosts, that's fine. That's exactly what it is. You're going to pick away at the units, you're going to fuck him up. But look at when I hit. And look at what he's got. 2 more Ghosts, an extra Thor. And it actually could have been worse, because he luckily didn't realize I had Broodlords. Otherwise, he would have cleared off some more Marines and Marauders and replaced it already with those units. But he did a really good job of buying time. He's already got building plating. That's how late this Broodlord timing is. He's already got Broodlord timing, building plating at 17 minutes. You could easily hit a Broodlord timing at 11 minutes. If you've had a really clean early game, then you can fuck people up. But the micro was definitely not perfect either. And I think part of it was because I wasn't too confident in what I was doing. Normally, you'd be rallying a few more Corruptors in here as well. And the Corruptors are going to allow you to fight these Vikings off a bit easier, whereas the Queens aren't so good at that. Now, something else I kind of wish I did here is split units off to attack a different base. But it's very difficult here on Gressven. Because Gressven, it's like, what are you going to do? Send your army all the way around the top? And then it's like, well, there's still 3 tanks with buildings in front. You can't really attack that angle. This angle, you could try, but then, I mean, you are going to kind of corner your army. So it's very difficult to split off. And that's the thing. Well, why then do you have so much Ultraling Bane? Because I wasn't thinking about doing a Broodlord push. I was like, I just build Ultras because it's late game, and I've been telling you guys to build Ultras, and they're good units. But if you're this far behind, you really need to lean into a sharp timing attack to counter your opponent, right? And if I went straight for Broodlords instead of the Ultras, we could have hit 2 minutes ago with 15 Broodlords, had a few Corruptors out as well to help deal with the Vikings, and then just focused on the Infestors. And what I do with the Infestors is basically just spread them out, and the army sits just a little bit further behind. So if his whole army comes forward, the Lingbane Ultra can A-move. Otherwise, it basically sits back. You want to spread your Infestors around, and you want to kind of micro your Infestors back and forwards and just look to throw Fungals on the Ghosts. Because anytime you land a Fungal on those Ghosts, you can kill a bunch of them with your Broodlords. And if you can bring another Infestor forward in Fungal and keep rotating in fresh Infestors one at a time, you will fuck them up really well. Yeah. So that's the answer if your opponent's heavy on tanks. If you see someone playing Tank Turtle and, you know, you can just go Lingbane Hydra Viper and just try to build up a bank and look for careful engagements like I did later in this game. with potentially infestors as well. I did not use my Vipers once this entire game, guys. I did not get a single Viper spell off. I built 6 Vipers, I believe, and in 3 or 4 separate fights, I just forgot to use their spells. So, not my best game by any means. I tend to make more mistakes like that when I'm on the back foot, and my opponent's picking where and when the engagements are happening, which is basically this game start to finish. So we can talk about, okay, focus on a sharp Broodlord timing. Very important to win these sort of dragged out games. But more importantly, early game, stick to the system, okay? So that means split the queens up from the start, get the creep going a little earlier, and then I can drone up. I also don't need to go double macro hatchery. I think adding the double macro hatchery later is not bad, or if the game gets a bit messy, but I should focus on everything else first, because we like to go 4th and 5th base nice and early, go up to 5 gases, and basically just go from there. So awesome. This was a really good warm-up game. Choss put me in a lot of bad positions, and GG's. All right, guys, we're going to be playing a Zerg versus a Protoss against a 5k player. That first game was a crazy warm-up game. First couple games. In that, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll probably start the video on that Zerg versus Terran. We did a ZVZ on ladder before that versus Epic, and that was kind of brutal as well. So we've had a couple of brutal warm-up games, which is great. We're now playing Zerg versus Protoss, so we're going hatch gas pool. We'll just leave the Overlord here, make sure we're not getting cannoned. And the way his probe stopped moving looked a little suspicious there. Now, if you're worried about cannon rush, you can attack him with a drone. But for now, I don't know. It does feel like there's probably a few nasty spots which people could occupy. All right, so he's going to harass me, so we're just going to send a drone to chase him, guys. We can pull one off minerals onto gas just to speed that up. And once he's not harassing your minerals, you can just go back to that. But if he starts harassing you, you just pull a drone. And you just make sure you guys are doubled up. And this is obviously pretty advanced micro. You could just ignore it, or you could just attack it with a drone and let it follow it the whole time it's in your base to simplify things. Those are completely valid options. It's kind of up to how easy or hard you find all of these things, how much you're willing to micro your little heart out. Alright, we've got 2 queens, 4 lings on the way. This Overlord's just going to chill at the front for now. I have been going out the back of the base sometimes, but I don't think we really need to. Let's pull off gas and start ling speed at 100. I can send that guy there. Okay. So, we're going to do a very standard scout, guys. Just sending the lings across the map. Warp gate is not spinning. That tells us he's going for a Stargate. We're going to send 2 lings around the map. These guys are going to make sure the 3rd isn't being blocked. And there we go, guys. 32 supply. Normally, we'd drop that after injecting, but as you guys could see, we didn't want to get it blocked, did we? Extra Overlord out here. Now these lings are going to run in. Just confirm it is indeed a Stargate. Going to build 4 more lings. And notice we're starter stepping. There we go. Alright, look at these guys. So we can obviously try to dart into the mineral line. We see it's an Oracle building. You can always see what building they're doing. That queen starts doing the creep. And droning. Alright, Overlord up there, Overlord down here. Our lings are going to go across the map just to try to make it sure it's kind of hard for our opponent to take a 3rd base. Let's just check if those minerals are being mined out. Okay. Oh, that spawn's pretty late, guys. Alright, we're going to build those 3 more queens, and we're going to F2 our Zerglings over here, just try and get this probe. And I'll build a few more lings just to be annoying on that regard. Okay, put some guys back on gas. Notice we moved our queens there, because we saw him coming on the minimap. We're keeping eyes over that. Let's see if we can get the probe round 2. Probably can't, but you never know. If your opponent's a little slow to bring it out. And notice I even moved forward there, because if I just click the probe, they kind of get stuck behind each other. So that's basically like Zergling starter step, right? So go to Spore. And we bring these queens down. So I've got 3 queens on my defense key and 3 injecting queens. Now let's get a roach horn and a second gas at about 440. You can delay this longer, but it starts to get very greedy, and especially since we've delayed our opponent's third, we're kind of incentivizing our opponent to go for a big adept push, something like that. So let's move the Overlord in, and then we'll go for a scout. All right, we got 3 queens there. And you know what? I'm actually going to put one of those in the main, because that's very likely that he... goes into the main, right? Overlord's going to scout. Try to pull the drones away, guys, if you can. And look at that. That was definitely worth it. Let's try and drone up our 3 bases, because this does seem pretty normal for now. Alright. Because we've seen 3 oracles, we can be greedy up to 66 drones. Now we see a forge as well, which means we definitely can be. Let's mine these gold minerals open. Let's go +1 melee and roach speed. It's so funny, like with the commentary and how you say I'm kind of playing slower, that I feel kind of awkward. Because I feel like I'm just taking longer to do everything, and I certainly am. It's like there's this brain delay because I'm so unused to talking about it. Alright, melee's on the way. We're going to make a whole bunch of units now as these come out. He's got some adepts coming forward. Inject, inject, inject.
Mineral field depleted.
So we're building a big round of roaches, and we see it's a 3-gas style, guys. Just a highly aggressive style. Inject, inject, inject. Spore crawler on that base. Build 4 drones there, as well as 1 for the gas. Nice little harassment wave for him, and he's going to take a 4th base. Highly aggressive, or highly low tech, I guess would have been a better way to say that, because obviously it's not aggressive, is it, guys? We've got a big pack of roaches with roach speed. Now, I really would like to just go kill him. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, though. But let's start by breaking these rocks, okay? Make an overseer, and all I'm making is lings or mass lings right now. Looks like I did lose a queen. That's all right. Oh, no, I didn't. She's just off on the right side. Okay, I see. All right. Did he turn his lasers on? No. We're just fainting right now. I don't actually want to commit. I just would like him to waste his energy a little bit, set off any stasis traps, make him a little bit afraid, you know, and get a macro hatch as well. So because we've got 5 bases, I don't need to force the issue here or anything like that. Alright, let's get up here and support these Zerglings. Baneling speed's on the way, guys. Now, notice I'm not droning that base, and that's because I'm keeping this really simple. I think I've had a good enough start that I can just basically do a good old A move attack off just 63 drones, right? But I actually, looking at it now, I'm realizing, like, kind of taken way too long to do this. Okay.
Mineral field depleted.
Okay, we're going to make lots of Ravages, lots of Banes. Oh, is he actually going to do this? Oh, that's kind of crazy. Counter-attacking? That I was not expecting. So we're just clicking units into all of his mineral lines. Cool. So I kept it kind of simple there, but he lost map control, which is a big issue for him, which made that obviously a lot harder. Because when they are on this pure Stalker army, they really struggle to just kill lots of Zerglings. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep it really basic and commit. But normally you would drone up. When you're in this sort of holding pattern, if you don't have like a really crisp Bane speed timing, or if you're not confident shoving with just Roach Ravager Zergling and like +1 melee, normally you would drone up your 4th base fully, and then you would mass Ravager Bane off that count. So 6 gases is fine. You can do it off 5 gas. So if you want to be really optimal, you actually can skip, say, one of the gases on the 3rd base, and off 5 gases, you can drone the frig out of it and do really well. Now I transferred a few too many drones out of my main. You can see, definitely was a small issue. My 3rd was also just a single worker under saturation. Better to be 1 or 2 over than under. Obviously, we just kind of caught him massively out of position. I don't think it was going to be an easy game, though. I think it was going to be hard to break through completely. But I was basically planning to just do one big shove, and then from then on split some roaches to try to break this wall with some roachlings so I can start doing baneling run-bys there while continuing to hit that right side. And basically just keep him off a 5th base while I take a 5th and then a 6th, and just kind of keep trading Ravagerling Bane with him, because he's going to be on mostly Zealot Stalker. But you got to keep good map control to make sure Zealots don't surprise you with backstabs and that sort of stuff. And sitting for so long on just 63 drones definitely is a very major commitment, and he's on 89 workers. So if he kind of realized what was happening, which he could have, guys, how could he have done that? If his oracles flew over this base, he could have seen, hey, there's next to no drones on your 4th. Like that base should be having 8 workers on it just from the main transferring. So even if you see 8 workers here at 8.5, 9 minutes, it's like, well, this guy's on 65 drones. Like, this is not a lot. So going to 90 workers was a bit too much for Cobblestone here. And he had like 89 workers is actually insane. Obviously very mineral focused, just taking a few more gases steadily, trying to go into disruptors. I think what would have been a nice way for him to play actually would have been just an Archon transition off this, because Archons are so good versus Link Bane, and basically just have the Stalkers in the right positions and just do nice blink back micro into the batteries and everything. If he saw where I was coming from, this could have been a very difficult situation, because Blink Stalkers are so good at defending when they're microed correctly. Like if he sees my army coming from here, his Stalkers can all be here, and he can slowly kind of retreat to the left to the healing there, and some behind this wall as he's blinking backwards. And what happens is, with the way Blink Micro works, they create a concave around your army, and that's why Ravager Bane is normally saying, okay, I'm going to be rolling Banelings in the left side at the same time, and splitting, you know, Lings off here and Banes off there and trying to break through. Boolia has a very good point. I made a few extra Lings to snipe the probe, taking the 3rd. That's why my droning was a little late. Yes, good point. What's a good system of controlling 2 separate groups of Banes, Boolia was asking? What's the purpose for the 2 groups of Banes? Like to attack different mineral lines or what? Or in one battle? Because normally I just have my Banelings on the same control group as my army once I start splitting stuff up a lot. If I'm just doing a one-directional fight like I was there, I will put the Banelings on a separate key. But yeah, it kind of depends a little bit. You had Banes in his 3rd and still Banes in the army. I don't even know if I dumped... I just dumped them, that's all. So the Banelings that I grabbed and clicked off, I literally just went... I guess you could think of it as like Alt-0 or whatever. For me, it's literally just the full stop button. And then I just click them off. And so yeah, I just steal them onto like a run-by key. Would be a good way to do it. If you have like... Say you have like hotkey 4 and 5 are like for run-bys and stuff. As you box Banelings to go off into his 3rd and 4th, you just put those on number 4. You're like Alt-4, something like that. But it's a lot of manual control. A lot of players will just box the units, shift click them, that sort of stuff, and make sure they do shit that way. Alright, guys. We've got a random player up next. Yo-Yo, 5,400 with random, which is kind of wild. I didn't realize this random was getting so darn good. So, you're 5.4k with random now. Alright, a little slow on that drone, but that's alright. Well done, dude. If that's the case, that's pretty insane. Sick as, dude. Cool to see that the Yo-Yo's been getting so good. This is going to be a very tough match, obviously. Not going to be easy. Anyway, 16 hatch. We're sending the drone down a little late. Go. Goes down about 1 or 2 seconds too late. Not the end of the world, though. All right, we're sending the Overlord there because we don't know what matchup this is. And obviously we're just going to go gas pool. So if it ends up being Zerg versus Zerg, does that ruin my no ling speed, my gasless opening? No, it just means we'll have a single gas mining nice and early, guys. And we just won't make ling speed with it. We'll just let it bank up a little bit. Allows us to delay the second gas. And we can kind of converge into pretty much our normal build anyway. Might even be a superior build because the lair can start very early. So yeah, I'm not really sure which way is the better of doing it. My instinct says the double gas is just very nice for having so many minerals and being able to afford that wall off, but I could be wrong. Now, I don't know what matchup it is. There we go. Okay, ZVT. All right, so let's kind of shift gears mentally in our head, guys. And yeah, let's take a look. Okay, so Overlord can stay there. We want another Overlord shortly out there. And you know what, guys? We're going to put 2 workers off gas. So this is something we prefer to do in Zerg vs Terran. If you want, you can leave on for the quicker ling speed, but I find it has very little value because very few people are making like really early Hellion dives or anything like that. And because no one's making an early Hellion dive, it just feels like you don't have that many options to surround Hellions, to use ling speed, you know, early, effectively. Now, we sent this drone down a little bit late, guys, so we're just going to go into that extractor. It's totally fine. Just going to cancel that. He knows he can't block it, because if he does stay there, I will send my lings across the map. So we're just going to get that third base up. Just do it now so he can't block it. Normally I'd wait for 32 supply, but if the Reapers knows we're there, then it is what it is. All right, now we've got obviously a ramp. So with the lings and the queen there, he can't do anything. We're going to go third queen and an overlord. Overlord can go up over here. He almost loses it. Now we can try to catch him not looking. We can also move this queen up. So we can try to just move up there. Let's get ling speed. So it's third queen, overlord, and only then you go for that. And we did catch him not looking for a second, but nice reaction by him. I could have microed those guys up past so that there was no escape, but well played by him. Second creep tumor immediately. Remember, we're not adding extra guys until a little bit later. Now, I've actually left the one worker on gas. I'm not going to bother taking it off because it's a bit late to bother with that now. But as we get 2 bases saturated, which we now have, rallying these guys onto gas, we can start... Okay, we've got the guys rallying onto the gas now. We can start non-stop queen production, 330. And we're still rallying guys there. Did look like a pretty standard opening. We're going to send this overlord through anyway. I'll build 2 more pairs of zerglings. And we're just going to try to get these out. Now, obviously, we do want to go for... Alright, he gets 2 creep tumors, but you know what? We got a Reaper, so that's actually okay. It's not super ideal, but that's fine. So these queens are going to go out to the third. We've already got 2 queen groups, guys. We always do that by default. And do we build one more? I think we're going to go lair, because that looks like banshees. Alright. Alright, so we can get the second gas in the Baneling Nest once we're mostly saturated. We did see a quick third command center. That was the one thing I was like, is this third CC or not? We can build a few more zerglings to make sure there's no run-bys. From there, nothing but drones, overlords, drones and overlords. Behind that, we're going to do some drones and then some overlords. Try and get the double Evo up. He's going to try and dive, so run the drones away. Drop creep, Morphin Overseer plus Queen secondary group comes up into the main to help defend. Oh, this supply block's hurting me, guys. Alright, quick, let's try and get a 4th and a 5th base going. Alright. Looks like his Banshee's flying away. I think this might be cloakless, guys. Carapace plus 1 melee. We're going to build drones. Remember, we only need 5 gas. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna add one more queen to that group because that's quite a lot of Hellion Banshee. Okay, make sure these guys
Cluster is under attack.
pull the drones away.
A queen tumor is under
He's being very annoying. One more round of drones here, guys.
attack.
That's a few guys there. And really good play by them.
A queen tumor is under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Okay, so he's really driven me crazy right now by doing all this. Like, really screwed me over, right? So he's done a very good job of just non-committally pissing me off, essentially.
Our drones are under attack.
Yeah.
The hive cluster is under attack.
All right.
A queen tumor is under attack. Our forces are under attack.
All right. So he's just spamming clicks right now. So we got to do something about it, guys.
Mineral field.
We're gonna try and spam banelings into his mineral line because ZVT is all about momentum.
Queen tumor is under attack. Metamorphosis complete. A queen tumor is under
And if you let them control everything and just pick and choose where to fight, your opponent could be a diamond player and they will look like a fucking god, man.
field. A queen tumor is under attack.
Especially with Biomine. Biomine is one of the most abusive comps in the game in terms of that sort of stuff. Where if your opponent wants to, they can just set up fights on every side of the map. So you really got to make sure
Robbie!
you punish it.
I got Silicon Valley money, bitch!
Whenever Sola does this to Mara does this to Sola, Sola looks like a bad StarCraft player. And he
When
looks
SC2
amazing all the
went
other
F2P,
times.
you gave away some
Usually
game
the answer
codes
is
and
punishing them.
accidentally showed one on screen,
very
and
greedy.
I
Thank you so much for the love, mate. Really appreciate it.
To get it. I've always felt guilty about that, so here is 60, which is the price.
Alright.
Mutation complete.
Alright.
The hive cluster is under attack. Our forces are under attack. A queen tumor is under attack.
Just keep making Banes and just keep rolling into his shit.
A creep tumor is under attack. Forces are under attack.
Keep expanding. Keep spreading Zerglings. Yeah, you have to give back as good as you're getting, or your opponent can overwhelm you. That's exactly what this game shows, man. The moment I was so far behind, but as soon as I started fighting back, it felt like it was doable, you know? Wasn't great, it still isn't great. Get Adrenal Glands and +3 Carapace, those are the highest priority upgrades. A few more drones there. And just keep making Ling Bane, guys. We're also going to spread our units out.
Mineral field depleted. Our forces are under attack.
Alright, we just lost that entire army to a random Widow Mine. Shit happens. Roll Banes into that base. Let's go. Get another Overseer. You can just give that one up, that's fine.
Are under attack. The hive cluster is under attack.
So remember,
Mineral field depleted.
he's just going to keep dropping me. So we're going to make a big round of Corruptors here, like 6. These Infestors are helping, but we need to also try and get that base up as well.
Mineral field depleted. The hive cluster is under attack.
I didn't think he'd stay there like that. That's kind of crazy, but
Metamorphosis complete. Our forces are under attack.
you die! Keep expanding, guys. Do not let your opponent freeze you up. Do not let your opponent freeze you up. Literally ever. Now you might be wondering, why aren't we going Ultras or anything? We don't need to. This game, he's on low economy, guys. We're on low economy. All we need to do is just keep fighting. That's all we need to do.
Our forces are under attack.
I'm just going to keep sending Lings in.
Depleted.
And Banes. Lings and Banes. Lings and Banes. Let's get +3 melee, which I'm doing. Keep injecting. Keep injecting. Keep injecting. Keep injecting. And just keep rolling Banelings into that base. He doesn't have mining, guys. And that command center's going to die now. Yeah. So what he was doing to me felt so unstoppable. But notice he never set up Widow Mines on the defense. And this is the real weakness of Biomine, is it feels god tier when you're in the driver's seat. And it doesn't feel nearly as good when you're constantly having to run around and, you know, deflecting your opponent's stuff. Oh, he retargeted that. You little virgin. Okay, I'm just going to kill him. That's fine.
Our forces are under attack.
That was a really good move. Virgin is the ultimate compliment, by the way, guys. Split the Ling Bane into all the bases. He's trying to go ghosts, but no real reason or need to be doing that. These guys can attack there. These guys can go there. These guys can run over there. Oh, that's actually not that many Marines, is it? Okay, I think we're good then. Oh, okay. Now notice, why aren't we standing and fighting? Because if your army's split in between their buildings, there's basically no way to actually use it effectively, guys. Guess we killed that? Yeah, we did.
Mineral field depleted.
Don't know where this army came from. But the Corruptors are killing the Medivacs as well. So, you know, he's always had that get out of jail free card. That's taken away once you add Corruptors. So if a game's going long enough on the bio action game, adding a few Corruptors is such a game changer, because unlike Hydras, over time you will be able to always gun down pretty much every single Medivac. I mean, that was crazy. He just like played very fast. Like he's clearly been practicing a lot. He definitely outpaced me. That was another game where I thought the opening was a bit better, but then he was like, you know, in your face, and he just kept on attacking around the sides. I think one of the big things that's kind of subtle here is like creep control, and the ability to keep your opponent at bay is very important with good creep. And I think killing those early 2 creep tumors was actually really big for him. Even though he lost a Reaper for it, it was probably quite worth it. So I think something you got to really pay attention to is tiny details in StarCraft, especially now this is a 5,400 opponent. You know, he's a fantastic player. Who's, you know, that's kind of high GM on North America, right? So first things first, these overlords. Guys, once you get to this point, you want those overlords to shuffle forward. Move this overlord up to there so I could see these Hellions earlier. Move this overlord up to here. You want to see these as early as possible. This overlord I've clicked to there, which is pretty good. But even then I can shuffle it out to like over here. The earlier you see the Hellions, the more time you have to respond, so you don't get caught out like this as often. Maybe I'd lose 1 tumor here, but then I wouldn't have just put down the other creep tumor. So that was a huge problem for me. Now, I think I droned up pretty alright. We kind of droned that third with non-stop queen production. One thing that I did miss is an extra queen building in the main, guys. Normally, we'd get 1 more queen out of the main before going for the lair. I'm going to show you guys. So this queen started pretty much on time in the main, I would say. But you're meant to start another one the moment this finishes. And I was like, When I finally, because I was getting distracted by the Hellions, I was like, I don't want to delay my lair too long, because I've already scouted that it's Cloaked Banshee. Getting an Overseer is very important, so I started that. But normally you'd get 1 more queen out of that base. Also, you can see I hit a supply block on 66, which is not ideal. That slowed down a lot of drones coming out. So I was sitting on a lower work account, so definitely something we forgot to do this game, guys, is when you send that Overlord in, remember to build like 3 extra Overlords. Because you're going to sacrifice an Overlord. You're already at a point where you just are producing a lot. You're getting your 3rd saturated. So whenever you click that Overlord in, always remember to build a couple of extra Overlords, 2 or 3, to make up for that Overlord going down. I forgot to do that, so I got stuck on 66. I built 1 Overlord, which is obviously I should be building more, but I didn't have the lava. Got distracted by these Hellions a few times. You can see my queens were reasonably well split, but he just did a very good job of constantly rotating and picking off tumors and being very annoying. So really well played by him. But yeah, he was quite annoying. Forced me to pull my drones there without overcommitting. So he did a lot of interrupting my rhythm constantly and forcing me to react to things. And that's why like really pushing these overlords further out earlier, getting the creep out a little bit harder earlier, and avoiding those supply blocks would have been big. Because notice I got supply blocked on 82 again. So I think you can kind of just see how sloppy I am today. Yeah, 11 lava sitting at 54 drones. So I think it's just one of those things where getting used to like trying to talk you guys through what I'm doing and being very like methodical and stuff like that. I also just haven't practiced Ling Bane in my main account for a while. I've been very roach focused in my play. So it's definitely something where I'm just sloppy AF at the moment. And yeah, being down on workers, no wonder he was able to swarm me so much. So I did mess up my opening a lot more than I realized while I was playing it. I did go all the way to 70 drones here, whereas if you're behind, you should be stopping at 63, right? And this is part of what got me in trouble. Combined with the fact that he went straight Widow Mines, it's a scary spot. Now, this was not the greediest way for him to play because he did get Banshees. If he didn't go Banshees, he went straight to the Biomine aggression, it would be a big problem. So the moment you're playing against a Biomine player, you always want to split your army, guys, so you can defend both sides. The problem I have in this game is I don't like fighting Widow Mines front on. I would much rather, and Queens are pretty good at tanking Widow Mines, by the way, so you can do that. I would much rather backstab, because he has no defense. And you need to, because it's very APM intensive to set up these Widowmine spreads, stutter step your bio in and out, pick up at the right moment, dance this way, dance that way, all of that sort of stuff. The moment you send 20 Lings in, a few Banes in the mineral line, anything, it's going to have a game-changing effect. Now, unfortunately for me, he had Banshees right there, and I think he even saw those Zerglings and Banelings a second ago. Luckily for me, he wasn't super properly positioned, but this first run by basically just kills a few depots, which you might think isn't great, but I figure if he's busy, he probably doesn't have time to replace those. It might supply block him, and then we can, you know, hopefully get in future waves of harassment as well. But you need to keep on sending your army to the other side of the map. You got to try and harass them, because otherwise they just go, oh, okay, let's fight here. They catch you off guard, take a good fight, pick up, go somewhere else. Then they're like, I'll take a fight over here now. Oh, and they can just, oh, you know what? I'll take 30 seconds to go macro. You, on the other hand, are halfway through a macro task, biomine stimming in your base, and you're going, fudge! What the hell, man? Oh! And you're freaking out, and you're dying really quickly. So, especially here at GM level, if you want to just sit there and defend and take it all day, you better have a damn clean opening, because you're not going to be able to get back into a game by just sitting there and defending when you're already this far behind. You need to mix in some backstabs. You need to play the attention game to make your opponent be distracted. Because, I mean, we were getting hammered, right? We were getting absolutely hammered. But it's once we started doing more backstabs that we started to take control over things. We did also get this 4th base saturated, which was very important. If we lost that 4th, I would have been screwed. This was good. Always click in the middle if you can there to kill both command centers, because that'll take a very long time to build. Cost for cost, a terrible trade, but to slow down his momentum is huge, especially because I, at the same time, forced him to pull all of his SCVs off his 3rd. This also takes the wind out of his sails on the front. Suddenly, it's really hard for him to micro all of these fights at once, and you can see we're starting to get more Baneling connections. His Widowmines are starting to do more friendly fire. He's starting to make more mistakes because of those backstabs. Let's look at this from his camera, guys. So you can see it's really hard for him to just get back out there now. Just a few run-bys, and suddenly what was going to be an economy that was about to explode out of control, and suddenly he doesn't have that. So he probably should have set up a few Widowmines scattered across the map and turtled up a little bit. It would have forced the game to the long game, but it felt like Yo-Yo was kind of like, no, I got to win the momentum game. This is my forte. I got to go hard, go now. And I ended up being okay there. Pig, I ate his EVT yesterday with the Terran was ahead. He set up a tough pre-split and minefield. I remembered your words to just send small packs of Ling Bane in. I was able to crush his position and then swamp and break him with my Ling Bane unit for win. Heck yeah, Dexter. Yeah, when people set up mine spreads, don't attack into it if it's a big giant army. In this game, I did a lot of attacking into it because it was very small armies. But if they get like a big spread, remember small packs of Ling Bane to slow down the advance and send 80% of your army around the map, hit their natural, hit the backstab as much as you can. It's game-changing, man. And look at this, guys. Now he's caught with only 1 medevac there. So he's like, oh, cool, we'll do a little pressure down here. Doesn't realize, oh, crap, I've actually only got 1 medevac there. He's making more mistakes. He's got 5 medevacs on the side that only needs 2 or 3, and only 1 on the side that needed an extra 1 or 2 medevacs. So mistakes are starting to stack up for him. His Widowmine production's also failing now. Notice he doesn't have as many Widowmines because he's been short on money, and in his macro cycle, Yo-Yo queues up bio units first. So by the time he selects the factory and holds down the Widowmine key, a lot of the time he doesn't have the money. That time it worked because he had money left over after queuing Marine Marauder Ghost. But a lot of the time he actually didn't for the last minute or two. So his Widowmine count's not as high as it was earlier in this game. I think if he grabbed his whole army together and attacked the low creep 4th, that would have been a better way to force the fights. I think that's a good idea, Loelius. And there's a system within that thought process. This is obviously that comments from a few minutes before. It's maybe like 9 minutes in the game timer. So we can go back there. Let's go back to like 9 minutes. I think the system and the thought process, the pattern there is I'm attacking 2 sides constantly, and I force the opponent to finally get really solid on defending both sides. So what do I do? And the answer is, well, you then regroup your army and hit one location, and the Zerg's like, oh shit, and they got to kind of gather their units together and try to engage. So I think it's generally a good idea to hit multiple angles a few times, then group up for a frontal push, and then go back to hitting multiple angles, and then group up for a front push. That's like a good system to have. A few rounds of a frontal push, then start multi-pronging, or a few rounds of multi-pronging, then frontal push. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again, because your opponent will improve at how they deal with it, right? And they'll be more ready and set up for it. But if you force them to spread out and put all this shit everywhere, and then you just attack one location, you can take advantage of it. Could have fungled all the medevacs and killed the queens at that one point before. Yeah, there was a few missed opportunities where obviously I wasn't watching. This is Yo-Yo's camera, not mine. Are you ever worried about oversplitting your army and not being able to take good fights, says Adscott? Well, against Biomine, having a bigger army just is presenting a bigger target for Widowmines to hit. So splitting your army up basically actually offsets risk. If there is a big giant army, so that's a good point, right? And we're kind of talking about this. So what if there is a big giant push here that he clears the creep, starts pushing through? Yeah, if I just charge into it, that's not good. But what I'll do is in that scenario, I'll be backstabbing with the other sections of my army. And this part will get all the reinforcements, every new unit, and I'll keep pulling back. I'll threaten forward to force him to like burrow and spread and stim, and I'll pull back. I won't actually fight. Even if I lose the hatchery and have to give up the hatchery, that's fine. I'm not going to take a game-losing fight. And I'll keep making banelings, and then I'll just grab 10 banelings and just click them into his army every now and then. And that's going to keep him immensely busy, spreading his units out, worrying about those banelings, while my attention's not even there. My attention's on the backstabs and the macro. So that's really important. Now, I think this game looked really hard. I've played 2 Zerg vs Terrans that look really hard, guys. I've made ZVT looking impossible as a matchup, and it really is. It's such an impossible matchup. If you have shit macro and your build orders are unrefined, and you find yourself really behind at 6 minutes every game, then it's really hard. And if you think about it, you can apply that to every matchup in StarCraft. Take responsibility, guys. Take responsibility for your losses. I know there's still going to be a few people going, in the comments like, look how bullshit ZVT is, or maybe they'll just say, look how bad Pig is, which is, I think, a bit more reasonable. Massive supply block on 66, massive supply block on 82. Look at the work account. All you need to do is see that my work account is almost never ahead of his by more than a couple drones. And you got to realize, holy shit, I'm even down on workers half the time. That's really, really bad, guys. Really, really bad. To barely get ahead in workers at this point, and then I'm already losing bases, that's a disaster. If you've had a clean Zerg vs Terran, you should have enough Ling Bane to clash with this army, defend this position, get your creep out a little bit further and get going. This is an example of where things have gone wrong early. Fix those mistakes and you'll do much better. All right, guys, let's go. We got a Zerg versus Terran. Sneaky Lemming's a little lower. Obviously, a little bit closer to Masters 3, maybe the lower end of Masters 2. So this should be a really good example for me to show a good, clean early game. Because we've had a few really crappy early games where I've had to fight like a dog to make the game really close. And you know what, guys? You know what? This is going to be a good example of like what you should do if you're really struggling on the ladder to make those improvements. Like if you're just like, nah, I know what I have to do, but I just can't seem to do it. Get an easier opponent in a custom game, or get just an empty custom game and practice your build order until you really hit those overlord timings. You make sure all those little systems are in place, shuffling those overlords further out. You know, all these little things that I'm not really doing particularly well today, I'm going to be trying to really focus on. And where we should be climbing way ahead of our opponent in workers, just like when you watch Reyna or Serral or Solar or Dark playing, you know, we should be getting ahead of our opponent economically. That is just the way it should be going. Because we're going to be less efficient because we have Zerg units and they have Terran units. And Zerg units ain't necessarily the best there. You occasionally have a cost-efficient game versus Terran, but relying on that with Ling Bane is definitely very dicey. It's all about mobility, using that mobility and that explosive nature of the army to get ahead and going from there. So guys, we're going to be doing a rock solid opening, 16 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pool. First overlord goes in, confirms the command center, goes back to the pillar. Just building more drones here. And as this natural gets close to finish, which is usually when you're at about 50 gas, or just before then even, you can start pulling off. I'll build the extra overlord straight away just to make sure we don't forget it. This guy, of course, is watching for the Reaper ledge over there. And let's start pulling off gas. About 50. You can see, there we go. Natural's ready. And we can go 2 queens and 4 zerglings. Perfect. So, we also want to take a drone to the 3rd base because we know that Reaper's coming. Keep droning behind it. Now, obviously, if that gets blocked, it's not the end of the world. We can always send a drone to the other base while sending lings across the map. As long as you've got a set play for that situation, you will be perfectly fine. Now, you don't want to be too far forward with your Zerglings, because obviously you want to fight on creep where you're actually faster than him. And notice we use the wireframe, guys, to pull back the weak ones. In that case, we don't. There we go, just box them. Okay, 2 more drones, 3rd hatchery, and there we go. Remember, this one does not inject. It's gonna be a hard habit to break. You guys want to still go inject there? You can absolutely still do it, by the way. 3rd queen and overlord, of course. So this overlord can go there. We'll get another overlord down here. And we'll go up there and block the ledge, maybe? Actually, no, I think if we see him go up there to the ledge, we can try to block it. But for now, just keep droning. Oh, and ling speed. We did forget to get ling speed. Now, you could fully pull off gas if you want. I don't think it's really necessary. And remember, if your opponents are diving Hellions really early, you can get punished for this. But otherwise, it's not really a big issue. So keep injecting. Build 2, put more drones on the gas there. The lings are just here to guard the creep tumor, so they've done their job. And we're just gonna queue that guy to go through the enemy base, okay? Build a few more overlords and keep on droning. This queen joins out front. And guess what? That means, I think that's gonna be 2 bases saturated. So let's start non-stop queen production, hey? Put another overlord out here. Obviously, if we see Hellions, we will build a few Zerglings. So we're gonna do that now and start our next queen. All right, so this queen, she's going to be on the other key. She's going to put a creep tumor down. All right, now that overlord's going in. It looks like a Viking or a Liberator, guys. Could be technically something else, but I'm building lots of overlords because that's going to die. All right, let's spread this creep out. I don't know where the Hellions are, guys. So we're going to build spores on the edge, because that's where Liberators normally come in from. Oh, whoa. All right, we're going to build a bunch more Zerglings, guys. We don't want to chase in a clump, because if you clump up, he can deal with your shit. Okay, very good, very good. Try and just come in there to get some extra hits. Oh, look at that. Let's go there, inject. And inject. All right, guys, I think we did a little bit better this game. We still want to get our 4th and 5th base up pretty soon. Let's get the 2nd gas Baneling Nest, which, remember, is not that important. It's good to do it when you're mostly saturated on your 3rd, but you can actually just do it later on once you're fully saturated. Just whenever you have the cache is fine as well, since it's not really going to be ready for most timings anyway. Okay. He's got a 3rd command center finished in the wall. Our Ling saw that. That's very good to know. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay. All right, I'm bringing all of my queens together now, guys. That is a shit ton of Hellions. Let's make Baneling speed. Oh my god. That is a lot of guys. But that's all right. So we can grab 3 drones from there, put them down here. We only want 5 gas, guys. So you can see we've already got a lot of stuff here. I'm going to go straight for 9 drones for that base. I'll build some more in a little bit. Let's get an Overseer. Let's send some Lings out, because he built a lot of Hellions and a Liberator, and I don't feel he did damage. Whereas if I'd taken a bunch of damage, I'd feel behind. If I felt behind, I wouldn't drone this base. I'd just mass units right now, right? So I'd be like, oh, I gotta be safe, man. Alright, we're just gonna send that one Baneling and try and stop it from running on top of me. Okay. Alright. Alright, we're gonna build... I think 74 drones is enough, guys, for now, to be honest. Let's get that infestation pit. Just make Ling Bane. Keep spreading creep. Keep spreading creep. Okay. And we can still go the double macro hatch just to make sure our production's good. Those are the last overlords we're going to need for this game, guys. And we're going to go up to the top right to get ready to run by the natural next time he's attacking me. I don't like doing run bys in isolation because it's like, well, his whole army's sitting at home. What's the likelihood of you catching your opponent off guard with a run by right now? It's pretty low, right? I'll start breaking these rocks. This opening paths is vital. We're going to get pathogen glands this game. So we will be making those with a little bit more impact. Alright, so we're going to drone up the 4th fully. Because he's just sitting there, we're going to go to that 80 drone count and the 7 gases that we like. And it's a mech army. It's a mech army. Oh god, I did not realize it was a mech army, guys. Okay, okay. Take a base down there. Take that gas too. Get ready to swap into range upgrades. Get guys on that gas as well. Luckily he left his door open, otherwise we'd be completely screwed right now. These guys are going to be in here. And we're just trying to make banelings. Oh, he's not watching. We've got him distracted, which means banelings can roll in. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't need to wait for them to shoot you, dude. You're in the middle of them. You could definitely blow up. All right, we got Roach Warren. Almost, almost, almost. That's going to be the next thing we build, guys. Just roaches. We've got that +1 range on the way. The reason we didn't fight front on is Lingbane sucks dick against mech, guys, especially Hellbat mech. So what did we forget to do? Bullier's been harping on about this in the chat, like the smart player that he actually is. The whole last 3 episodes, he's like, Overseer Scout every game, just to confirm if it's mech or bio. And I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to say that's a really good idea and then instantly forget every single time. And he's just like, Jesus, Pig. Come on, man. Thought we were teaching people how to play StarCraft. Okay, click on the command center. I'm making a few more roaches, guys. These ones are going to morph to Ravagers. We're just going to pull away. Why would we fight to defend this base? It's such a compromised position. It's like a really dirty choke point. We're just going to send more Lings in and keep clicking the Banelings in. Oh, pull these Queens back. These guys are just to kind of buy time, pick off any Hellbats that stray forward. And behind it, what are we doing? Some mass roaches, and then the rest on Zergling Baneling to kind of help. Oh yeah, we can get us around. That's good. And you notice, it's really hard for him to move forward. So the retreat is like the best move you have as Zerg. It's, am I going to fight or am I not going to fight? And it's really hard for them to ever know. And then just like, if they're not committing hard, they're being patient, you basically just wait. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're not going to push into me. You're trying to wait for me to take the bad fight into you. Okay, I'll just keep sending everything across the map then. Like, that's just going to be the way I play this out, right? Now we're going to get some more Banelings here to clear the Hellbats. Some Zerglings in the mix still, some more Ravagers. Now, obviously, I could try to just drop some Biles. So I could do it like where I just control click the Ravagers and I go run forward. And we just drop 3 Biles on each. Take out 2 tanks. Super worth it, right? And we just kind of keep pulling back, keep pulling back. I'm not microing this on the other side, so look, you can see all the roaches are stuck behind each other, which is not good. Alright. Now we're just going to A-move, guys. The Banelings are going to move. So I control click the Banelings towards the Hellbats. Click them on the Hellbats if you have to, if they're not detonating. Now I should have had more Zerglings in here, because Zerglings are the bomb at cleaning up siege tanks. GG, well played to Sneaky Lemming, playing like a beast there, but obviously leaving everything wide open for run-bys is definitely an issue. He did build a lot of Hellions, and that was a little bit of a tell that he was potentially playing mech, but for some reason my Spidey senses didn't tingle. The other thing is, in hindsight, I actually saw a very early gas there, which I didn't notice. I didn't pay attention to that, guys. But that would have been a big tell. So whenever your lair's done, make Baneling speed, make 1-1, but also make an Overseer and send it across the map. That's more important than making an Overseer for Widow Mines. He might not even be building Widow Mines. So I should have just grabbed one of these Overlords, morphed Overseer, sent it in, and just confirmed what's going on. Because the thing is, you also can see... oh, guess what? You have 8 barracks, but no 4th command center. Oh, you're doing a really big 3-base push. Or you could see the opposite. So that's a sign of aggression, really early 8 barracks. A sign of greed would be a quick 4th command center and a 2nd factory, right? To add drilling claws, widow mine production, all that sort of stuff. So it's always about kind of giving yourself that contextual information is nice, but the main thing is obviously if it's a mech player, we would have realized we would have had a bunch of roaches and ravagers ready with our Ling Bane, roach speed already on the way, and it just would have been much easier to fight the push front on. We'd still do some Ling Bane backstabs, see if we can catch him off guard or force him to leave a bunch of units at home. But yeah, that'd be the way of seeing. We could also scout double armory because that's kind of greedy. Technically, yeah. Yeah, that might expose them to just dying to like a big roach shove, actually. That's a good point. All right, guys, this is a 5k Protoss player. This is not going to be easy. I sent my drone down a bit late, so we're going to have to go 17 hatchery at the front, which is not my favorite, but that's all right. Move the Overlord to sit above it to make sure there's no cannon rush on the 3rd base. Sometimes they block you, force you to take your 3rd, and then they do the sneaky cannon rush on it. Not common, but there's always a few filthy boys out there. Now, I've actually got the wrong Overlords. That guy's meant to go to the other side of the map. Whoops. Whoops! Overlords are on the wrong duty there for a second. Alright, just trying to figure out who's mining what over here. Since they're all kind of derping out. There we go, that's alright. And see, he's going to come around. That's alright. And notice we've got 2 drones chasing him. I like to rotate drones on and off, chasing him just to keep cutting him off from in front. That's incredibly fancy. You don't need to do that. It's just something, I'm pretty much the only person that does this. I never see pros really do it either. Unless they're trying to catch like an SCV or something that can't really repair itself, but it's pretty rare to do it versus a probe. Okay, you go there, and notice, whoops. You want to grab the guy off the patch that he's trying to deny and tell it to stay there. And that's exactly what we just did there. Awesome. All right, so with this, it is nice to spread creep out front, guys, in this scenario. Let's put an Overlord down there, Overlord out here. Let's get Ling speed. Built 4 Lings. All right, so this Overlord's just going to sit there. We've got 4 Lings coming out. I guess I'll send 2 of them in, like I always do. And we want to always build a 3rd queen, usually from the expansion, as quickly as possible. Now, you could argue you want to get the hatchery first. Just keep the build similar to what it normally is. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. I think so. Now, I normally don't go for this creep tumor, but I do think it's the better way of playing. So that's why we're doing it. All right, I'm building a few more Lings. We're going to build an Overlord. And I think that drone's safe. Yeah. Obviously, this guy needs to move forward as well. And these things can wait here. So just keeping those units up as best we can, guys. And it looks like a Stargate is indeed in order. Put another creep tumor down. Start that 3rd queen. Start the extra queen there. Get the Overlords on the edges. And as Ling speed kicks in, of course, we can go and kill the Adept. Oh, he's still here. I thought he would have left with that Adept. So that kind of surprised me, guys. Now, Ling speed is not ready yet, but we're going to have 10 Zerglings. He's got 3 Adepts, though, so he should be able to secure that 3rd quite easily. Now, we're getting very good creep spread, but I've definitely been very slow on my injects, so... Nothing but, There we go. Good surround. Oh, we didn't finish it? You're kidding me. Oh, man. What server are we on? Why is the ping so good? There's feels when the ping is actually so good and it hurts you because you pull away too early expecting there to be lag. Ah, man, I really want to finish that Adept off. I don't think I can, but we'll try.
Our forces are under attack.
Nah, we can't. We've got great creep spread, so that is kind of cool. Alright, guys, we're going to send the Overlord straight over the natural, even though it's going to die. I just want to see the gases. Lair and 2nd gas and Roach Warren are up. I've only seen 1 Oracle, guys. We saw 3 gas. I don't know about the 4th. Okay, we've seen 2 Oracles now. So we'll build a 3rd queen. We'll get No spore in this base though. Okay, you need to get a nice quick 4th base against any Blink Stalker style, guys. Alright, we want to get that Evo chamber.
The hive cluster is under attack.
And we're just going to try to get up to 5 gas here. About 60 drones. And from here, nothing but roaches. Okay, that I was not expecting. Well done. So he actually built a 3rd oracle, which makes me think this is much more macro-centric. So I think we're okay to drone a 4th, guys. We're going to take a 4th and a 5th base. We're putting lots of overlords, melee upgrades on the way. We'll get the Baneling nest going. Ah, I never actually brought that queen over. That's why things are a little bit awkward. Okay. So we'll leave that queen in the main. Just add a little bit more anti-air there. And let's try to get that 5th up. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to get up though. There we go. Roaches on the way. Alright, oracles are being dickheads. That means I think the queens... There's probably going to be the... I think there's going to be the stalkers not far behind. Alright, we're going to make some dudes. We're going to make sure we get Zerglings on all the potential bases. Because Protoss with this Blink Oracle style almost always try to take a quick 4th. And if you can cancel that, it's a really big boon to you. Alright, there we go. Baneling speed's on the way, guys. 5th base, 4th base. Now remember, we're only on 58 drones right now. So this kind of sucks, right? So we want to play a solid style. We need to drone that 4th. Now that it's finally coming up, we're going to do that. We're going to move the spore there. I'm supply blocked again. Piggy. Alright. Drone, 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 drone. He still hasn't taken a base yet, so I don't want to build too many drones, but I'm going to go to 73 anyway, just because the drone count felt so bad, guys. Ravages are on the way. He's no doubt coming with his stalkers very soon. What we're going to do is we're going to send these lings down the very bottom of the map. I'm going to try and backstab him. Not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, but... Massling behind these ravages. Alright, let's go.
Under attack. A creep tumor is under attack.
Oh, he's gone Colossus! Oh, Overseer Scout. I forgot the Overseer Scout again, guys. Alright, let's get a second Evo and try to go Hive. It's a really good attack for him. Okay, we're making Mass Roach. Guys, Mass Roach, Mass Roach. He doesn't have an expansion. So this feels super all in. We're going to try and get +1 range for those roaches, because that's really going to help him out. And he knows I'm trying to deny the base. Okay. Hive immediately for Vipers. Vipers are so key here. Alright. And we're going to need to take these gases as well. Obviously, I was trying to play a kind of lower gas style.
Is under attack.
Go for the backstab. Try to get some nice surrounds. It's got +2 as well, so I don't think we can really do anything, guys. Grab a bunch of drones, start getting ready for the base trade. Scouting's really important. I always forget that this style exists. Colossus are very, very good versus this style. You need to just have gone much heavier into the banelings. You can defend it with Ravager Bane, but this is why scouting is vital. I just forget that they have such a good option against this.
Mutation.
Okay.
Our forces are under attack. The hive cluster is under attack. Our forces
Still building lots and lots of roaches. I can't anymore though because we've lost our thingo. I know we got a warp prism out, guys, so that is a thing.
under attack.
Oh. Alright, he can't recall, that's good. Good to know. Alright, let's gather my army up. Try to deal with some of this stuff, eh? Let's go after that base first and foremost. Alright, we're gonna
Our forces are under attack.
try and take a hatchery there as well.
Under attack.
I mean, we got roach speed. So you got recall available?
Hive cluster is under attack.
He's gonna have to run to the warp prism, eh? Are these the last guys? Okay, these guys are gonna go up here. Okay, we're trying to just look for a good defensive fight. I think he's lost all of his probes. I mean, I just don't have any units though. That's a big problem. I can't beat that army with +1 handful of Roach Ravager. I mean, we can wait for more fungal, of course, but it's gonna be hard.
Unacceptable command.
Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna go like that. Okay. Try and kill this stalker. You know he's coming down here.
Cluster is under attack. Our drones are under attack. The hive cluster is under attack.
Nice, nice. He's got a nexus there. It's gonna be hard to eliminate him, guys. Just split your army up, bro. Split your army up. Split your army up. Come on, you know you want to split your army up. Come on, apple juice. Split the army up. Ah, not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Oh, wait. That's okay. Aha. Aha. No! Ah! GG, well played. Good stuff. Alright, good stuff. That's crazy, man. Just completely forgetting to scout is always a big issue. I think when my Overlord went in, yeah, I didn't quite see if there was a fourth gas or not, which was really unfortunate because I glanced at it so late that I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, were there probes mining or not? I was like, I don't know. So I thought it was a 3-gas style, and I already saw like Stalkers warping in, so I was like, oh, yeah, it's going to be like Blink Oracle, right? But he actually just went straight into a pretty quick Robo in a moment, and then second Robo Colossus. And double Robo Colossus is a really nice timing push, but Vipers cucks it, as well as just being a little bit heavier on Roaches and get the range upgrades as well. Melee's still good, but if you can basically just play double Evo earlier, and most importantly the quick hive for the Vipers, you'll be good. Problem, I did play a bit low economy here, guys. Like, why did I stay on just 4 gases for so long? That feels a little bit low, right? I think a 5th gas is always a good idea. Gives you a bit of buffer to make more Ravages, Banelings, and everything else. I think I thought I was on 5 gas, but I just forgot to take the gas here, which is why my work count was so low. Letting him cancel my 4th was actually a disaster for my macro as well. That really set me far behind. Now, on the other hand, he would die to any push if I decided to do a Queen Walk or something like that. So a meta decision you can always make as you get to higher levels is if all the Protoss players are playing triple Oracle into fully saturating their 3rd of basically nothing, you can basically react by every game, just do a big Queen Walk shove. Dark is doing this like half of his games lately. A lot of the Korean players mix it in, Solar as well. So mixing a Queen Walk in is a great way to kill your opponent. I think MaxPax died to Solar yesterday doing it as well. So it's good stuff. GG, well played by Applejuice. Basically, I sat on a bit too low of an economy, and whilst my Ling run-bys were good, I also needed to commit fully to the base trade, realizing the Roach Ravager couldn't defend. So shouldn't have just been Zerglings on the base trade, it should have been my entire army. So once I saw the Colossus, obviously Infestation Pit, Evo, all this stuff, but it's just way too late for that. The great thing about seeing Double Robo and Colossus tech in general is you know they can't push you too early. So if you scout that while it's building, you know you can go straight hive, you know you can drone kind of greedily because they can't be aggressive, as opposed to a player who's just on 3 gases, single forge, mass blink stalker in your face. They're going to hit a much sharper timing. So understanding that difference is big. That was a really good trap as well. He blinked on my Lings, surrounded them, which was really nice. He left himself completely undefended at home. So yeah, if at this point the Roach Ravager veered around and just went for the base trade to support the Lings, that would have been really, really key. But look at what he does. He actually recalls 2 Colossus here, I believe. Which is actually a really smart move. Recalling 2 Colossus with a Prism, because that can kill like unlimited Zerglings. And he did a big Zealot Warp in as well, which kept his mining alive for a bit longer. So this was actually kind of crucial to his whole thing. I spent a lot of money building extra units in the main that all kind of just got trapped. A lot of Protoss players would split their army up, and this might pay off. If you get a pack of 12 Roaches together, you kill a bunch of Stalkers. Instead, I basically was just throwing money into a dumpster. So this didn't really work out. I think I maybe killed 2 Stalkers here, which is not very effective. 2 Stalkers for like 10 Roaches and a few Ravages. Yeah. GG. Really nicely played by him. Cool. Good stuff. Trying to get better at the scouting for sure. All right, guys, let's go. I'm actually going to take the triangle 3rd, just because I think it's really hard for Hellions to rotate from here all the way around there. So it kind of allows you to centralize your queen position. So that's why we're going to do that. Then we'll take the 4th down there. And I think we'll take this 5th up here, because we should have a head start on the creep in that direction. This is a Zerg versus Terran again? Yeah, we're up against Wanky, a 4600 player from EU, guys. So another chance against a non-GM player, a Masters 2, to really refine what we're doing and execute it a little bit better, since obviously I've been a little sloppy. And we did well versus Sneaky Lemming, but we still forgot to scout. So we're going to really remember to Overseer scout while, of course, just improving that build order that we've been kind of slacking on a little bit. Get those drones up, don't get supply blocked at all, and we should be good. Overlord is already queued to go in, check for the command center, and then pull back. This Overlord sitting outside will see any Marines or SCVs come in off of proxy barracks, give me time to prepare. 3rd base is there, 4th base is there, 5th base is there. Alright. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in my Bronze to GM, people were asking how to defend BCs with Terran. I'm pretty sure Bronze to GM Terran would have some notes about defending battle cruisers, because that comes up every Protoss GM, every matchup, right? There's always people, especially in like gold and plat, building a lot of battle cruisers. All right, guys, looks like a pretty standard build order. Go back there. Send a drone out to my third, guys. The Reaper, I think, just jumped out of his base. Let's pull those guys off gas. Looks like I only ever put one on gas anyway, so the kind of pulling off a little bit late, not that big of an issue. 4 lings are here. We should see the Reaper arrive momentarily. There he is. Remember, just keep droning. No need to take that third earlier than needed. Alright, trying to surround him. We're going to let him escape. I think I probably could have stopped him from getting in, but I know he's playing from EU, might not be used to the ping on the US East server. And that gives you a big momentum advantage if you kill the Reaper. Oh. So notice I stopped putting the tumor down because I saw him coming in to try to cancel it. Okay, guys? So we got the third queen on the way, Overlord, now Ling speed, and then back to droning. You guys know the drill. Same set piece we always use. There we go. Alright, we'll get another Overlord out that right side. We're just going to queue that guy to scout now while I remember. Let's rally 2 of these eggs onto that gas straight away. That guy can come to the front. Keep building drones. Let's get another Overlord out the left. Always target Hellions because they don't heal themselves, guys. Alright, we're going to start pumping queens, as well as building those last 2 drones to saturate that base, which means we can rally everything else over there. Another Overlord down the bottom right. Notice we're always targeting these Hellions, guys. And we're going to bring every single one to the front now, because he's going very hard on the aggression. So we're going to build a lot of Zerglings right now. And a lot of queens, because he's committed exceptionally hard. So this, I think, was actually a gas first. And in hindsight, I should have realized that.
Thanks for the Bezos box.
6 Hellions? And oh, he's even built extra Reapers. Yeah, yeah.
A creature is under attack.
Oh my god, great positioning by him as well. If you guys haven't played against this, just build extra queens. Losing the first queens was the biggest mistake. If I noticed how early those extra Hellions were, and if I realized how early that factory was, we would not be in this position. But we're in this position from my own poopy doopies. So just keep building queens. Try to get this creep out.
Unacceptable command.
Nothing but drones from here, okay? And he's going for a 2 base all-in. Oh, but he's got Banshees as well. Okay. Alright, go for the surround. Go for it, go for it, go for it. He's doing some very good micro. Yeah, it's actually insane how good that micro is. I regret letting that Reaper live, guys. Okay. Let's go. Spore in each base. Let's try and get extra gas. So there we go. All right.
The hive cluster is under attack.
Okay. Overseer coming in. Do we have a Baneling Nest? No, not yet. Creep tumors.
Forces are under attack. A creep tumor is under attack.
Okay, we're gonna quickly go around, make sure he doesn't have a base on location, because he's playing a very unique style, which means, you know, you can't really take anything for granted in these sort of games. We will get the infestation pit, but it's really not important right now. That's kind of for later in the game, if we get there.
Our forces are
Okay, we're gonna grab these two and send them into the main with a second overseer because those banshees are coming in. And yeah, okay, he does have a base. I was like, you can't be going banshees and all this. Okay.
Our drones are under attack. A creep tumor is under attack.
Okay.
Unacceptable command.
Looks like all my lings got picked off when I wasn't looking. What the fuck? This is actually just insane, the amount of constant annoying pressure that he's doing. Just fucking die, man! Alright. These guys are gonna make mass baneling and they're gonna just roll into that base. Because remember the golden rule. Put pressure back on them. Still building a few more drones here and there. Just gonna confirm what the Tekoan army looks like, because I still haven't seen it. Yeah. Okay, he's coming. Pull the overlords back. So he's gonna push this right side with marine tank guys. And we're getting ready to backstab and also engage the front same time.
Our forces are under attack.
When's that Bane speed ready? About,
Are under attack.
okay.
Mineral field depleted.
So notice we're clicking the lings onto the tanks. So I boxed them to do that on purpose. And then we're just gonna pull back. If you get rid of that, it's huge.
Mineral field
Looks like that mineral line got taken out.
Mineral field depleted.
We're gonna build a bunch of drones for that base as well. Okay. Don't let him walk all over you guys. Alright, so we're gonna send these guys up here. Actually, that can just... So we're gonna keep doing backstabs on that side, and it looks like he's stuck on 3 base, so we should be okay. But what a wild style. The Mass Reaper Hellion, man. I mean, this is just caught me completely off guard, and once they kill your first queens, it's often game over. So I'm definitely having to just dig into my bag of tricks a little bit to get out of this. It's been a lot of today, hasn't it? But I'm having to use a lot of deep experience to avoid death. Alright, we're gonna go Hive, Pathogen Glands. There's been too much action to worry about Infestors. Versus a more passive player, I think I'd be a lot more kind of willing to set it up, but as it is, hasn't really been an option. Alright, we're gonna try and move the Banelings in on the Marines, split some after each group of Marines while the... Okay, that was a bit sloppy. You know what? Looks like we did manage to take out most of his important units, which is good. As long as you get rid of the tanks, the Marines can't do that well. It was a bit of a derpy position where I fought him. Take that gold base as well. And you might be wondering, yeah, why'd you do that? Well, I saw he wasn't sieged. I saw he was caught off guard. I figured, don't let him take a good position. Make the fight messy, and as long as I get rid of the tanks, I can deal with everything else later. And then just split a big army off the left. They're going to keep run-bying there. Keep trying to clean up these spotting depots as well if I can. Let's get Burrow. Let's try and put some guys on gas. Okay.
Mineral field depleted. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Run, 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 run. Nice positioning. +3 carapaces on the way, guys. You can see I'm very low on gas, so we're trying to finally saturate those. I'm floating an insane amount of minerals because I never built the macro hatch. We've got Infestors, we've got control. And most importantly, against a player who's always trying to catch you off guard, is just to be aware of where and when their focus is so you don't get caught off guard. Like right now I'm saying, hey, where's your 4th base, right? And here we go. Alright, so we're going to attack the front now. I need a lot more Banes though. Let's try and land a fungal to start this, shall we? Alright. Yeah, Wanky has some really good plays, guys. These guys are going to rejoin my main army, though. Oh, shit! And those guys went in there. He's actually got a great army right now. This is kind of scary. How does he have so much stuff? +3 melee. Did I get the Ultra Cavern? I did not. Taking gas here just to shore up my economy. That's going to put me on over 90 drones. So to help offset that, we're both going to take spines there. We're going to move those to the gold as well. And here we go. All right, building new infestors. We're also going to get the Spire, which I apparently already have. Corruptors to help deal with this. Okay. We're just going to send Lings in that side. It's not really where I want to be fighting right now. But anything to slow his advance, guys. Anything to slow his advance. Okay, pull back. Alright, let's try to make sure these guys are getting up his ramp. And, oh yeah, we're good. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. Make sure we hotkey those macro hatcheries that never got hotkeyed before. And because he's now forced to shove, anytime you force your opponent to shove, infestors become the goat unit. They become just absolute destroyers of worlds. And now the tanks are on their own, so you should be able to just rally whatever Lings are popping out into that. And then these drones can go back to mining. Wanky played an awesome game, and this is something you almost never see people do. I had someone the other week who was like, hey, how come no one builds extra Reapers to support their pressure? And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that's a thing. And I was talking about how, like, it's actually, yeah, it's a huge investment. It slows everything else down you're doing. But if you can catch the Zerg off guard and pick off a queen, and then another queen, and then another queen, it spirals very fast. Because queens are basically a really shit unit that hit 50 energy and become a decent unit, and they hit 100 energy and they become a very, very good unit, and they hit 150 energy and they become a god tier unkillable unit, right? You put a pack of them together with transfusers stacked up, they're really good. But there is no transfuse where those first 4 aliens came in and kicked my ass, man. That was a sick, sick opening. So let's go back to the very start. I think it was a gas first, right? Yeah, so this was a gas first. Now, how could I have recognized that this was a gas first, guys? Really simple, that factory timing. So, well, what do you mean? What do you mean, PIIIIIG? Because I looked right here. A factory should be starting off a normal 1-rax expand at about 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Sometimes as late as 2:12, 2:15. A gas first starts closer to 1:55. In this case, 1:54 even. So the fact that it started already by 2 minutes. Ooh. So, what does gas first tell you? With a gas first, they cannot be taking a super fast third command center. Why not? Well, there'd be no point in going for such a fast factory. If they're going for such a fast factory, it's to pump Hellions or pump Starport units as early as possible. It's a much more aggressive opening. So what would your adjustment be versus gas first? It'd be very subtle. It'd be very small. The main things, let's go forward to about 3:30, is literally just to pull every queen to the front with a bit more urgency and keep them together a little bit earlier. Don't be getting out here and going off the edge of creep and letting him pick away at you. We did a tiny chip of paint on the Hellion and we already took, 68 points of damage. But you might be like, oh, isn't that queen for injecting the main? No, not against this, because getting a few extra seconds of inject up is not as important, right? Every queen should be getting to the front, getting them all together, and you should even be thinking about prioritizing queen production immediately. You guys know how normally we say at 2 base saturation, produce non-stop queens. You might actually build those even earlier. You might even build a few Zerglings to support as well. In case they run past, you might want to have like 7 or 8 Zerglings, to even slow Zerglings, just to stop them running past here. So these are really important things that we should probably be writing. I didn't write a lot of notes down, but verbalized. all the key points in the video. Now, this should be... That's just a note so people know. Reaction to gas first. CVT. Pull all queens to front. And keep them together. Make sure you focus fire Hellions rather than Reapers. Don't go off creep. Don't spread creep too aggressively. They will snipe your tumors, basically. And then you can also prioritize queen production even before saturating the natural expand. So you might be at like 13 workers on your natural rather than 16, and you're already starting the extra queens. But the main thing is just this. Pull all the queens to the front and keep them together. You just got to deal with a much earlier for Hellion dive. Tell. Fact, Reaper is a few seconds late. Easier tell. Factory is started at 1:55 rather than closer to 2 minutes 10. So that's a good way to do it. Should you put your dronies to gas to have link speed earlier? I don't think so. I think it's a bit too late to think about that, isn't it? Is it? I'd rather just have the third hatchery up and rely on the queens. I don't think link speed's that important. It is nice, because gas first alone doesn't tell you he's going to be making Reapers and stuff with it anyway, and they did come in a lot later, of course. So, yeah, I mean, I could have put back on gas a little bit faster. That's an option. I don't think it's super necessary. I think just building a few extra Zerglings is better, because otherwise it's a lot of changes to the build. I think that's fine. Extra handful of lings to stop run by. Even without ling speed, they are a good barrier to Hellion starting past. And it's totally fine to not get drones on your third so early. You know, if you can't protect your third yet, don't worry. Just let your natural oversaturate for 20 to 30 seconds, then transfer over once you have enough queens and creep to feel safer. Because they can't be going fast third command center, so you just don't need to be like that. So yeah, guys, losing a bunch of queens is really painful, man. Because then it spirals, you see? And then I'm trying to replace creep, which means I don't have transfuse. I just kept losing so many queens. So he got some pretty sick value out of this. On the other hand, his third command center was pretty late. Now, remember, I got in with this Overlord, and I was like, wait, he's going Banshee afterwards and 3 barracks? I didn't realize he'd squeeze the third command center in the natural. So that's why I played a little bit paranoid. I was like a little bit like, whoa, what the hell? But I was like, I mean, it still can't be that scary of a timing, because he's committed to so much Hellion Reaper and Cloak Banshees. Even if it's 3 racks, like, it's not going to hit that fast, which is why I still droned pretty damn hard here. It's not that I was crazy behind. Obviously, he committed a lot to do all this damage. But the units lost tab, if it's not quite so brutal for me, this game's a lot smoother. So, yeah. Did hit a big supply block on 98. But once I saw the third command center, I was a bit more comfortable droning up. And, yeah. The Banshees got blocked. They didn't really do too much early. And from here, it was a super quick 2 factory build. What? This is... Okay, Wanky plays to the beat of his own drum. This is sick. And he went Banshee speed rather than Cloak as well. I didn't even realize that those Banshees were so fast. I should have. Wow. But this is all of 3 barracks. So the problem Wanky is going to run into is that he's not able to keep up marine production in the long game. On the other hand, he had such good marine production from early in the game, and he controlled them pretty well. And he was able to reproduce the tanks way better. I was very surprised by how often he was able to rebuild his tanks, because I was thinking it was going to be an 8 racks or something. He left a tank on the high ground as well, which saved that mineral line. He loses some SCVs, but not as many as he would have. Wait. Oh yeah, no, that was it. And then he goes to 6 barracks. Interesting. Cool playstyle. Leaves a lot of tanks to defend run-bys. I think this fight was interesting because this is an edge case where you could argue this is bad because I'm kind of attacking around the corner almost and like through this tiny choke point. I also wonder if I should have moved forward and just let some banelings blow up on the tanks just to clear them quicker. He did a beautiful spread. Like that was such a nice spread from Wanky. That was such, I was like, shit, man, well done. But luckily we were hitting the run bys at the same time, so it was okay. Against Marine tank, you don't have to do as many backstabs. You could just focus on crushing their army a bit more because they don't have the explosive splash damage of the Widow Mines. So it's much more viable to do that. If memory serves, he's also a bit of a cheesy bugger. So we're gonna see how much trouble we get in this early game. Luckily, I know the opponent. And this often happens at higher levels. You start to remember the names of the cheeses. Because they usually don't have as much range as a player. They're usually going to always do something kind of cheesy and gambly. So you don't need to worry as much about falling behind in the macro game. You just need to worry, of course, about not dying to the BS. And scouting as well as you can. Zerg versus Protoss, of course. And altitude's a pretty big map, man. It takes a long time to scout on this map. So I'm going to try and just play very standard. And if he does indeed cannon rush... that may mean it's hard to stop. Let's have a little think about this map, actually. Alright, we don't see a probe, so we should be good. Jared, tell Tim at FGS I am a software analyst available for work. Tim at FGS, someone's available for work. Their name is Candor or something. Good luck! Sure, that helped. Alright, he's not stopping to harass. So, and he's also not leaving. Doesn't necessarily mean he's up to no good. I do kind of wonder if he already squeezed a pylon in there on his way past the Overlord. I don't think he had time to, but you never know. Alright. Seems a bit too late to do a cannon rush now. I mean, he technically could, but it's unlikely. Alright. Oi! Stop trying to steal my minerals, dude. 2 queens, 4 zerglings. Alright, this is a pretty standard setup so far, guys. Rally the lings onto that guy. Chase the probe a little bit. Alright, looks like warp gate's spinning. Ah, okay, interesting. Oh, I just built an overlord, guys. We're not meant to build an overlord just yet. Oh, well. Overlord out front for third base. Alright, this is gonna try to get in there. Alright. Because I built that overlord a little bit early, that delays the third hatchery, but that's okay. Alright, we just need to get the third queen up. And nothing but drones from there. Alright, so the Stalker's gonna try to deny scouting, guys. I don't think he can completely block me from scouting. And it is going to be a robo first. Okay, very good to know. That should be able to get out on time. Okay, so he kills one of them. No worries. Now against this, you got to be worried about a few different things. The initial one is just, is it going to be a 5-gate all-in? Now I like to play a little bit greedier, but we still need to build a Roach Horn. And we're going to build a bunch more Zerglings in the near future. First of all, Overlords though, I guess. Should be the... Okay, let's just quickly take a little look. A few more drones, nothing but lings from there. Gonna go 5 queens. Okay. I think it's just gonna be a high attack build, guys. So I'm now gonna build a few more drones. Take 2 gases and a lair. That's gonna open up Spire, but more importantly, Roach Speed and Overseer for the follow-up scout. I still haven't seen what's happening in this game, so I am a little confused. It feels like a Colossus build, if you ask me. I'm gonna build an extra queen. Okay, so notice I'm just manually rallying those drones there. Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna build roaches now, guys. We're also gonna check what's going on there. Send some lings in. Got 3 queens on anti-prism duty. You always want to have a few extra queens with this build because it's often Disruptor or... yeah, it's either Disruptor or Colossus drop. Alright, so we see a 3rd now. I don't know if it's real. Thank you so much, Orc Force 4. Overseer immediately, Roach Speed immediately, okay? Now, how do you tell if it's real? Well, if he's probing it. If he's got probes rallying out to that base, then we know it's real. I see a probe, I see a sentry. These are signs of a longer game, right? I kind of want to, yeah, build some guys here. And yeah, it is indeed. Okay, we're going to try and make mutas. I might be thinking, why are you making mutas? Well, I guess we don't need to. Alright, I'll just play Ravager Bane, that's fine. I'm like, that's just always my instinct versus this style. It's probably a good way to play against it, but I haven't really thought about it, and if I don't have a really good reason, I'm going to try and just stick with this. Okay. So definitely slow on my extra base. That's going to be a big problem for me in the long run. This guy up here, though, this changeling, is going to give me some really good info.
Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Okay.
Metamorphosis complete.
Lots of overlords, Baneling Nests on the way. Got a good pack of roaches out. I'm going to try to get the second Evo. Where'd that queen go, by the way? Do I have a queen walking off creep somewhere, guys? Oh, right. Because we lost it. Okay. It was actually the inject queen that went down. Alright, build drones for that base.
Forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Alright, we're going to go cancel the 4th. No worries. Get this one. Get a macro hatch. We're on 6 gas already, which is why I've got so much gas. Make a few Banes just in case it helps. A few Ravages as well. Try to spread some creep.
Our forces are under attack.
Massling Bane coming. Carrier.
Metamorphosis complete.
I don't... What? Okay. Alright, we're gonna go mass air.
Our forces
But first I need to deal with this. Okay.
mineral field depleted. Drones are under attack. Are under attack.
Big disruptors. Okay, Spire's up. Corrupt is coming. Do you have upgrades? He's got +1. Shit.
The Hive cluster is under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Trying to transfuse.
Mineral field
Okay.
depleted. The Hive cluster is under attack.
Did I see the fucking Stargates, or were they just... I guess they were just hidden in the back, right? Woo! Okay. I actually overseer scouted this time, guys. I probably should have noticed the lack of gateways. Mother trucker. Going disruptor drop into carriers is like the memeiest shit ever. It is so shocking and surprising. I actually remember the overseer scout, but sometimes there's something missing. Did I see? I bet I saw the fleet beacon and I just didn't notice, right? I fucking saw it building, man. I saw it building, but I didn't look at it. God damn it. So he built it in range of the changeling that I'd left there. Oh, man. I even moved the changeling over there. I just thought it was like a forge or something. I mean, when you see a robo in a robo bay, you're just not even looking for anything else. Because like, well, I know what you're doing. You're just going to be adding stalkers, probably blink stalkers or charge lots to your disruptors, right? Oh. Should have realized this base is a little bit empty, guys, and gone back around the back. So this overseer could have gone around the top side and tried to get in. Might have been blocked, but I doubt it. And if I realized what was up, obviously we just would have built the Spire. We wouldn't have cancelled it earlier. And if we just build a pack of Corruptors on time, we'll be all good. But well played, Uncle Toby. It was too stupid of a build to actually be actively looking for. I still would not... I don't think you learn too much from games like this. Because it's like... Unless you're a kind of top pro gamer, you don't really have a lot of... I think what you learn from watching me deal with this is like, don't change the way you're playing to account for this 1 in 100 build, right? This is maybe I should have been a bit more aware of the lack of gateways in the main and taken a bit more of a look around. And that's a good instinct to have because he could have proxied 6 gateways on the side of the map. He could have a corner base. There's weird shit that could happen, right? So it was a good idea to just scout for that, but it's not something where I'm like, oh, next time when they're doing this exact build, I gotta remember to check the back of the base for Stargates. That would be a very bad lesson to draw from this, as difficult as my life was made by this. He pushed in really decisively with the carriers as well. This is such a surprising push, man. So essentially, it's a 4-gate Robo 2 Stargate carrier push with a 4th base behind it. What a oddball, absolutely bananas build order, man. Probably didn't need to make all the banelings. I probably could have just A-moved, right? Probably could have base traded as well. But, yeah. Well played, Uncle Toby. Well played, dude. He played really good. That's so surprising, man. I was like, oh, I want to go Mutas here. Mutas, Spy is really good. Mutas is really good. I was like, let's cancel it and go... Let's go Ravager Bane, because I'm trying to focus more on Ravager Bane and getting upgrades and all that sort of stuff. A more well-rounded ZVP. Spire would have been pretty good. Spire would have been pretty good. The hallucination would have spotted the Spire, and then it's 3 Phoenix at a time. Yeah, the thing is, if I'm being a good boy with my mutas, I would, well, 2 Phoenix at a time. It was 2 Stargate, but yeah. I would have kept scouting a bit more, because normally when you're going overseas, you do want to double check when you're going mutas. I do sometimes get lazy and just go, it's Robo Bay, he won't have any Stargates, it's fine, but you should always be like more careful about double checking what they're doing before you build your mutas. Because if you build mutas right as they're going for a big push, it's bad, or if they're already building Phoenix off 2 Stargate, then that's a problem as well. So the thing is, having the Spire, if you play it correctly, which I admittedly don't because I'm a lazy piece of shit a lot of the time, you should be good. And even if you build 8 mutas and they die, well, that's fine. He's got Phoenix, which aren't the best in the skies. You can build some Corruptors to deal with them. Yes, I think there's still, it'd be definitely playable, but not an automatic victory by any means. Alright guys, we're back here in ZVT territory against the 5266 EU Terran player. I don't know where EU GM starts. Does anyone in the chat know? Where does EU Grandmaster start these days? And I know start of the season, obviously it's lower, but like kind of middle of the season, about this time. If you guys have any idea, let me know in the Twitch chat, those watching live. I'm really curious. Uncle Toby says, I think it's about 5,200. Okay, cool. So yeah, it is lower than it used to be. It's not just NA, but the MMR kind of boundaries have changed a bit over time. I guess they're always shifting, aren't they? I don't really know what influences it, but yeah. So this player is GM then. Low GM, but still GM. And on EU, right? The most competitive of all the servers, many would say. You could argue the very top of career is better, but EU definitely has a lot more depth. I think normally I'd build that sporting pool down here so Reapers can't really circle the mineral line, but whatever. Alright, so guys, first Overlord goes in, checks the command center, also checks if it's gas first, that lesson we learnt in that Royal Blood game. I just saw an SCV come in, so definitely something to keep my eyes out for. Oi! Pretty sure he'll be leaving momentarily. So we just watch to make sure he goes home. Because I didn't notice what angle he came in from. I wasn't paying attention, guys. Which means if he came from down here, obviously I'd be like, oh, he's proxying me. But since I wasn't paying attention, I couldn't draw that conclusion, which did make things a little bit tougher. Two queens, 4 lings, and he's gone marine first, guys. Okay, there's no pillar on this map, so that's kind of a bummer. So what are we going to do? Panic, obviously. Just kidding, guys. Just build an extra Overlord, keep droning. I pulled off gas a little bit late. That's alright. Pull everyone off gas now. Move out to take the 3rd. Just droning.
Thanks for the Bezos.
You might be like, oh, your supply blocked, it's so bad. No, 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 because I started building it immediately. Group these lings up before they go across. And check it out, guys. We're already back on track. Start the 3rd base. Keep droning. Go for the creep tumor, because it's Zerg versus Terran. Get that 3rd queen. Group these guys up a little bit. If we do find 2 marines, 4 lings can beat them unless he micros very well. That is a bunker. What in the actual fuckballs is... Are you fucking... He's 1-basing. This is a 1-base all in, guys. There's no reason to have a bunker this early. No, he does have a command center. Okay. I just had an instinctual, I think he's, you know, pulling a really naughty all in. Now, obviously that wasn't the case, but it's good that I kind of felt like it might be the case, right? I'm pulling these Overlords back because, actually, let's just put them out on the pillars. So I put one out there. Let's put one out here. Because I think he might come through the map. Alright, put those guys on gas. Put these guys here. We've already got the extra queens building, which can help defend. I don't want to have too many Overlords just exposed out on the map is the whole thing, guys. Yeah, Overlord out there. And we're just spreading creep every path. Okay, sweet. Oh, he's got Hellions. Okay, so he did swap the reactor after building 4 or 6 Marines. Not bad. Okay. Okay. Non-stop queen production. Got those queens split up. A few more Overlords here. 1 there. 1 here. Rest just in the back. Lots of drones building. Now, obviously we don't know what the follow-up is, so we're going to build like a spore in each base. So I like to have 3 queens on both of those groups, plus my injecting queens. So it's, I guess technically, I've been calling this 8 queens, guys, but it's technically more than that. Okay, let's go. Ah! Oh, I forgot to make link speed, guys. Oh, he's not watching. It's really good for me.
Our forces are under attack.
Okay. Is it though?
Are under attack.
I'm only droning, by the way, for those who are wondering. I built 1 round of lings and nothing but drones from there. Because I figure without link speed, what's it even going to achieve, right?
Our forces are under attack.
So this, I haven't seen this one in a little bit. And definitely got caught off guard because he had so many Hellions. I normally don't see the delayed Marine drop. So I definitely misread what was happening. Okay, yeah, we can get that. You can fuck right off, dude. Get out of my base.
Metamorphosis complete.
Alright. Forgetting link speed obviously made that a lot harder than it needed to be. I've way overbuilt drones, which is not good for me. I'm going to try to get a 5th base up. Good chance I have to give up one of these bases. We're going to build a few more Zerglings now, since all of mine are dead. And obviously the highest form of respect is telling someone to fuck off or go shoot themselves or whatever crazy shit you say when your opponent's beating your ass. Obviously don't mean it towards the opponent. I just mean that Banshee pilot specifically. She can go eat a bag of dicks, you know? You guys know what I'm talking about. Let's send an Overseer in to confirm if it's mech or not. Alright, let's try and get out there. What are we on? So notice I'm only on a few gases, guys. You might be thinking, well, that's a huge mistake. No, it's not. It's on purpose. To make a comeback, you're going to be needing Master Zergling. That's how comebacks are made. And he's coming for me right now.
Is under attack. Our forces are under attack.
He's already got concussive. It's a big 2-base all in, guys. Luckily, he doesn't realize that my pants are down right now around my ankles. He's caught me in the middle of doing a poo-poo.
Under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Yeah, middle of a poo-poo for sure. So, yeah, I thought so. Really weird build for him for sure, but we'll see how it goes.
The high cluster is under attack.
Okay.
Our forces are under attack.
Just a few. Give up ground as always, guys. Always give up ground. You guys know. That's how we win StarCraft games. When you F up in the early game, the way I did.
Our forces are under attack.
Oh! Get him! So Marauder heavy. It's actually really hard to fight that. Alright. Really, really beautiful attack from him. I absolutely love the Marauder heavy style he's playing here. It's so very hard to play against. And I think maybe I could have kept buying time, but it was getting close, you know?
Our forces are under attack.
Thanks for the Bezos box.
Okay. And the concussive also makes it really hard to micro back and forth.
Tumor is under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Now he's got a third up, which is definitely a problem.
Mineral field depleted.
Oh my god, the number of libs coming out is wild, guys.
Mineral field depleted. Our forces are under attack.
What are his upgrades like? Just +1 for now. Alright, we got some good hits. Okay. That one.
Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Okay, cool. That's going to take me to 69 drones, which I think is enough for now. Oh, we don't need gas. Just need minerals. Okay, these guys are going to go right into that mineral line. Shit, 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 shit. Ah, I didn't think he'd be counterattacking so fast. I thought I bought myself like a moment of respite. I forgot that this man is a savage. He's kicking my ass, dude. Is that sensor tower, by the way? Okay, I only just realized what that was. What a fucking mad lad. I love it. This guy's got a big dick. Everybody knows there is a very big correlation between penis size and StarCraft aggression. This is something that absolute cocks will deny because of their liberal agenda. Yeah, let's try and get some infestors. I feel like they can bring us back, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what else can. Massling Bane. Let's try and get this. Let's try and get some more queens to the front, because that's my only anti-air, and obviously it's not the best anti-air, but it's better than nothing. Okay, let's try and roll these Banes into here, yeah? I feel like I'm buying myself time, man. Oh, yeah! Kill the command center. Oh, yes! Oh, shit, my queens are running in. Quick, just keep expanding away, guys. Just refuse to fight, refuse to fight. His upgrades are way worse than mine. He's still at +1! Whoa, let's go! Oh my god! What a fucking savage. This guy's build was sick. Such a confusing build order. He goes for the early bunker, which already made me think he was all-inning, so I ran past with the Lings. Luckily, we got an SCV kill, but I felt I just need to confirm there's a command center because that bunker's so far out. I can't even confirm that it's not a one-base all-in. I got to be careful. And then he actually swaps over after 4 Marines into Reactor and builds a second reactor. This is a super out there build. No one does this. This is really cool. Builds a medevac, goes for Hellions at a pretty heavy rate. So I'm thinking this is a Hellion Banshee game, maybe a Hellion Lib, maybe a Hellion BC. I'm not thinking about him adding a bunch of Marines and doing a bloody Marine drop. And obviously I did forget Ling Speed because I was distracted by the bunker and overthinking things. That is a big oversight, don't get me wrong. But I'm here like, okay, building lots of queens, we're kind of safe versus everything. And my brain kind of broke because I was so surprised. These queens are just chilling for most of this interaction. Obviously not great because he's kind of keeping me pinned. We're getting good damage done. I thought, oh, easy game. I'm in charge. Remember also, because he had early Marines on a reactor, I pulled a lot of my Overlords back. My Ring of Vision wasn't complete because I thought his Marines were going to come around the map and clean up all my Overlords. So the opening actually scared me into not having vision of this as early as I could have as well, which is so awesome. I'm actually lucky he only has 6 Marines as well. I bet if he actually executes his build perfectly, he normally has 8 Marines in this drop. Now, in hindsight, I could have just A-moved me drones and those Zerglings, but I obviously was like, oh, what the fuck? The Hellions are diving at the same time. These queens are just left there. These queens, I hope I A-moved them back in time, but I have a feeling they're going to turn around. Okay, those two at least did chase after, but man, he got some big lineups. And I let these Marines kill way more. Like, the drones could have A-moved that before. They finally do, but now they're so heavily damaged and the Hellions are in here, the lack of Ling Speed. So obviously I screwed the pooch here, guys. Ling Speed would have helped a lot. Moving the queens around helped a lot. But Loyalist did a really cool build order. And what we love the most is the double tech lab is so rare in this matchup. But it makes it very frustrating. You need to have an overwhelming number of Zerglings. Banelings cannot turn a game around when your opponent's onto Marauder production this early in the game. Banelings are just not as important at all. His army is weak to mass Zergling though, and because I was already so far behind, I was focusing on a mass Zergling style. Remember, I was only on 2 gases for quite a long time here. I took the gas in the main after all this. Bloody 28 workers killed. But and actually, sorry, I did take 4 gas. Yeah, which is more than I needed. I didn't need 4 gases, guys. It was, I guess, because I didn't have a 4th up. I didn't have anywhere for them to mine from, so I kind of was like, whatever, I'll take 4 gas. Actually, I did have, I needed minerals in my main, didn't I? I could have played 3 or 4 gas for sure. 2 gas is always a little light, a little close to the bone when you're getting 1-1 Bane speed 2-2. But the idea is you don't want tech. Tech doesn't bring you back in these games. It's about catching up and closing the gap on the disgusting active forces differential, which is his army is so much better than mine right now. Like, you know, he basically has just a way more expensive, better army, even though he didn't have many Marines. So like I said, very weak to mass Zerglings. I did not realize just how small that army was, but he takes position, sets up, even brings a few SCVs to potentially build bunkers with and repair tanks, I guess. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. He did get... Oh, he went 3 tech labs? Okay, 3 is too many. I do like 2, but 3 I think is too many. I think you definitely only want 2 tech labs at most. Because constant Marauder production off 2 is still pretty good, but if you go 3, it's very hard to have enough Marines to really have the critical firepower. So we had to do what we always do, guys, which is split our units to defend. The problem is I had so few units out. I was so far behind. Even my Ling backstabs trying to intercept his rally was never enough to actually take a very good fight. So I was trying to distract him and buy time, but he realized, hey, you can't hold this base. So after posturing forward a few times and realizing he wasn't going to pull back, we pulled to the bottom, started thinking about taking this base, and I kept sending the majority of my army to backstab. Because I figured this guy's setting up the best pushes ever. I've got to just set up the backstabs as much as I possibly can, right? You'll notice there, I accidentally sent the Banelings onto the tanks at first. But good micro. Notice he always control clicks the Marines and pulls them back. It's exactly what you want to do. Let those Marauders tank. Marines pull back, right? Tanks take down most of the Banelings, and the Marines come forward. Keeps his tanks alive. I gotta say, after those tanks survived that, I was like, I think I'm dead, man. I think I'm so screwed. Now, in hindsight, we saw that this was a protracted 2-base all-in, and luckily, he did start floating a lot of money. So if at some point he dropped a 3rd command center, and maybe a few more barracks, maybe queued up a few more Marines on these barracks as well, which is always tough when you've got tech labs, because if you queue up too many Marines, it might start putting Marines on the tech lab barracks, right? So it gets a little annoying trying to manage the production just right. But yeah, the Liberators coming in as well was really nice. I do think he spread his army a little bit thin here. I kind of feel like he could have just pushed forward. But luckily my creep was surviving and I just kept intercepting his stuff. And he goes for the protracted 2-base lift down to the low ground, which was absolutely a beautiful idea. I thought this was a third. I should have realized with how many SCVs went over that this was super duper committed. And I'm basically saying, hey, you come forward, you get deep on creep, you get up the ramp into my area, I'll take the fight, but otherwise I'm not going to. And when I saw those tanks were out of position, I thought I maybe could. I already had the flank on the right. And that there was a huge, huge engagement. Still very scary from here because he's still making a lot of units. But because I have 1-1 versus just +1 with +2 carapace beyond halfway, it's going to get very good for me the longer this game goes. So yeah, very cool. Sensor tower in the front though. Hats off to fucking Luolis for just playing like a Chad gamer, man. Sensor tower in the front. This mad dog, man. Hey, what time did that pressure hit with the drop in the main, by the way, guys? Was it 5 minutes? Yeah. So it's like an odd timing, you know? It's an odd timing. But really well microed by him. Beautiful, beautiful game. Alright guys, so we're going to be doing a Zerg versus Zerg. We're getting towards the very end of the show, and I'm sorry we didn't get to do too much Zerg versus Zerg. But I think I should definitely show the Nidus all-in. So we're going to be doing the same kind of gasless opening into double gas, lair, and then just do a surprising Roach Nidus all-in. I think the idea is, you know, we just want it to look completely normal. It might not be the fastest Nidus, but because it looks pretty surprising, I think it could be very effective. Now, like, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not an expert at these wall-off styles, these 2-base styles. It might just be more efficient to just go for a hatch gas pool. That might be the case. It might be better to just go hatch gas pool, start mining the gas, and just skip link speed, and just use one gas to get enough for your lair, and all that jazz. That might be the way. I haven't experimented enough on the ladder to really know what's better, but my instinct is as long as we go double gas on 32 supply, it's early enough to start a pretty well-timed lair, and we don't end up too far behind. Now, obviously, that should have been a 17 pool, but it is what it is. I mean, it's good enough. It'll time out with the 16 hatch anyway. And you want to try to triple these workers up on these far patches that also only start with 900 minerals as opposed to the close patches that start with 1800. So that one needs a body. This one needs a body. And it's a bit hard to get the other ones to stack, so let's just rally to the natural a little early. Actually, why not? Why not? We can do it. There's still this one fourth patch. So up to 20 drones on a base, you can actually mine with them reasonably efficiently as long as you stack them on those far patches. If you don't do that, they do jack all. They really don't do much at all. Alright, we're just pulling guys off these patches now. I'm building 4 lings. Not really necessary, guys. That's okay. Alright, Overlord here. We'll build one more Overlord in a little bit for the middle of the map just to see what's up. Okay, and 32 supply is going to be that double gas. If we go a little bit earlier, that's totally fine. I think building 4 lings does kind of convince your opponent a little bit more that you're doing a 2-base. That Overlord's a little deep. I might get that kill. Alright, let's go. Inject. Bring that queen down. If we can just get 1 or 2 more hits with that other queen, and that should be great. Then we can get back there. A little slow on the gas, but that's okay. Let's get an extra Overlord. Oh, he did take a third. Okay. Oh, we're taking that a little bit early, aren't we? Yeah, that's earlier than we need to. Okay. Okay. Evo chamber wall off. Yeah, I actually got the the evos and stuff a little bit early, guys. Bit of a mistake for me. All right, that's going to take us to 39 drones, which is as many as we should probably ever need. I think I'll build 2 more, 40 drones. 40 drone, 4 gas. Making +1 to make it look like a normal build. We know our opponent's got ling speed as well, which is pretty vital. And we're going to try and just shuffle this overlord over. Let's actually see if there's drones rallying out. I think that's going to be kind of key. Oh! Okay. Hello. What are you up to, mate? Alright, we're going to try and do that. Alright, we're going to make roachies. I don't think we need roach speed. Alright, we're checking what's up, guys, because obviously it's kind of tough to see right now. So roach speed isn't important if you're nighticing. He's making mass roach. I feel like if we were doing mutas, this would be great for me. Okay. Oh, okay. That supply block's nasty, man. Wait, is he coming? Is he full going for me? I think he's full going for me. He's full going for me. Okay, yeah, he is. Alright, more roachies. I guess we do want that, guys. Alright. Alright, we're gonna rebuild the roach horn because that's gonna go down. Well, let's just see if we can get it up. It's a huge gamble, guys, but see if we can get it up. Figure he's droning behind it, so he doesn't have any units to respond with, is my whole thing. Now, I don't have roach speed, so obviously that is an issue. Run, Ravager, get to the back of the line. Okay, okay. A little awkward in that I didn't rally these units in initially, but maybe? Interesting. Yeah, I think mutas would have been a much better option this game, but we'll see what we can do with it. I don't think he has that big of an economy advantage. I don't think he has roach speed, right?
Unacceptable command.
Alright, so I'm gonna try to drone up right here. I'm just trying to take fights that are better than my opponents with roach speed, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think I need to force it, right? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I think he doesn't have vision like there. I think that's just barely out of vision.
The hive cluster is under attack.
Alright, I think we're gonna pull back. And we're just gonna make nothing but roaches from here. He's gonna try to run into my natural with those lings, but we'll have a queen waiting for it.
Mineral field.
Oh shit, supply blocked.
Forces are under attack.
He doesn't have roach speed yet. Okay. I want to actually drone up a little bit and build more roachies. But it looks like, yeah, okay. So this game was very confusing to me, but... okay. Feels bad, man. Bad luck. GG. Yeah, lacking roach speed was huge. What an odd build from my opponent. Very interesting. He went ling speed and a quick third base, but seeing that I was doing more of a 2-base opening, decided to not go for a Baneling Nest. Don't know if that was reactive or not, or just because he's been watching the stream and knows that I'm not going to be doing Banelings. It's definitely very vulnerable to Baneling tech. If I was doing a Ling Bane bust, this opening seems very vulnerable. On the other hand, look at the worker advantage, guys. 34 versus 24 very early. And he's hidden an Evo in the back for a crazy fast +1 range. What a bizarre build. So he was planning a Ling map control into 2-base, 2-gas Roach Ling attack from the start, I think. What a fascinating build order. Yeah, I was very confused by what was happening in this game. Because I was like, man, he's massing roaches off a very low worker count. We actually did so much damage with those slow Zerglings to this hatchery. So then he does a pressure of 13 roaches with +1 range that hits at 530, but then he adds 2 drones, then more roaches. Interesting. I think he was worried about me going mutas, right? I'm not, because obviously I've been doing a lot of 2-base muta, but I actually think 2-base muta would have put me in an amazing position here. Whereas going for the Nidus, and the big mistake I made was not rallying into the Nidus and also not putting the Queen in first. You always want to put the Queen in first with high energy, because then she can pop out and transfuse it. Whereas instead, she didn't get out in time. So even though this fight is still good for me at the start, I get like a few drones, a few lings, it could have been a lot better. And we ended up only taking out like 1 Queen, and a bit slow to stutter step back. Like I really should have been stutter stepping backwards. But we were able to just multi-prong, which was the reason that worked out was purely the multi-prong. These roaches just started running around and basically just try to focus drones and run away. Obviously, I can't fight whenever he has equal or higher numbers, but we ended up doing kind of crazy damage with this roach run by. And I guess he'd pulled so many drones to fight and off mining in general. So we actually ended up ahead in economy after this. So even though my economy felt pretty bad, starting a third and starting to drone up behind it off that 40 workers, I did eventually catch up. Well, not catch up, but get to the 2-base economy and then a little bit beyond it that I wanted to be at. Yeah, it was very odd because like I was like, man, I'm kind of attacking into someone who has a bigger army than me, but not really a bigger economy, or only very slightly bigger economy. So it was a very bizarre situation because he had the 3rd base advantage, so it could turn into a giant economy advantage at any moment. And that's why I kind of felt I needed to keep attacking. But once I got the 3rd base, I basically said as long as I mass Roach, I think I can survive his counterattack when his Roach speed kicks in, which obviously he forgot he never made, which sucks. He was only on 2 gas as well, whereas I was on 4. So if I did choose to go mutas or something off the Roach game, I definitely had the gas to afford that, or just to make more Ravages. But yeah, it worked out all right. GG. What an oddball game. Let's look at the timing that my Nidus went up. Obviously it was delayed because he kind of pressured me with Roaches. So I was ready for a... And the whole point of this is like, I'm going to take a 3rd and make it look normal. The only reason I didn't have the 3rd down is specifically because we saw that the Roaches move across. Otherwise, we'd have a 3rd down. It's all like, kind of like, or at least faking it. And then we'd be popping that Nidus at about 530. Definitely not a super fast Nidus, but I think it does an okay job of faking as a normal game. I definitely need more reps with this Nidus version to see how well it works, but this is something I needed to be mixing in here, because with any 2-base build, if your opponents know, like my viewers who are obviously volunteering to play games, that I'm going to play 2-base Roach Wall off, but then actually go mutas every game, it's not a very good build. They need to be unsure. Am I going to Nidus? Am I going to go mutas? Am I just going to do a straight Roach push? As long as you swap between those 3 options and you're not too predictable, even if your opponent knows who you are in your background, you'll still be okay. All right, guys, we're going to finish up. Since we didn't get many Zergs, unfortunately for Bronze GM, Masters GM volunteering today, we didn't get that many Zergs. So we're going to play another one here against Killjoy. He's a Masters 2 player. And yeah, I kind of just want to Nidus again. But I think what I'm going to do different is I will immediately start an Overseer to scout as soon as my lair's done. I think that's just good because it allows us, if the situation's really bad, we can back out of it. We can go Spire or just Roaches and drone our third. You know, it'll give us playability. Now, don't get me wrong. I think if I was trying to get better, I would just be like, just hit the Nidus as crisp as possible, blah, blah, blah. I'd probably like refine the build a bit more, just headbutting with it. And then I'd do like the surprise muta, just headbutt with it a few times, just to try to get the timings down, because I really feel getting tight on your execution should be the highest priority. And then you can add, oh, I'll scout and react. That for me is a lower priority. And I think most players learn this way. But for me, if I start reacting to things without having the base build down and all the details, I'm going to get worse and worse at how I execute as a player. Because I'm reacting to things without having any muscle memory on the core of the build. What should I do as a Terran if a Zerg has a decent amount of spores and spines at all hatcheries? Just make your harassment bigger, yeah. And drop around as well. Like if they have all the spines on their fourth, you can just go into the back bases. But same as always, if your opponent's building a lot of static, the static can't collect itself together. So they're gonna build a ton of static across 5 bases. Like, it's really bad, man. All right, so guys, we accidentally took the gas because I'm an idiot and I wasn't paying attention and reading chat. But big thank you, 19PIIIIIG, for the sub as well. As I said, this might be the better way of doing it. So let's see how this feels. Same build order, or same like direction we're doing. It's just a slightly different opening, you know. That's a 15 hatch, guys. Right? He's already got 2 lings as well. Okay. So you don't pull off gas, I don't think, with this version, right? Maybe you do. Just put 1 worker off. All right, we're gonna try to scout with those lings. I might need to reactively build a spine crawler. Keep that in mind, guys. 1 overlord out front our base. Just there. 1 overlord to the middle of the map. Make sure we don't forget that. Keep building drones for now. Keep building drones. That's all fine. And yeah, get that 3rd queen. Obviously, this queen can also do some stuff. But I really feel we're about to have... Wait, no, he's got an Evo. And he's making a really early upgrade, which means no link speed. Okay, never mind. I was worried about something very different to this.
Our forces are under attack.
Tried to get in, we weren't able to breach, or at least not by very far. You might be wondering, why aren't you building the Evo chamber in the Roach Warren? Well, it's not really time just yet. Just taking that 2nd gas. Just got to make sure we get vision back at the front. Leaving that vision at the front there is very dangerous. Okay, 3rd gas, a few more drones. 4th gas, let's go. Whoops. Okay, and as I said, Overseer. Immediately go through with an Overseer. And these guys are going to pull back a little bit. This Overlord can go up to the top left. And no worries. Okay, guys. Roach Warren was a little bit late for this. Need to get the Roach Warren earlier for this build. No worries. Good to know. +1's on the way. Obviously, we can cancel that to just get way more roaches. Pretty sure it's Massling. Feels like Massling.
Are under attack.
Yep. Mass Queen Zergling as well. It's a crazy number of Zerglings coming out. Okay. So you'd actually be better off probably going for Carapace rather than range. Because he doesn't have a 3rd base yet. I think we're alright for now. Alright, let's get Roach Speed. I think we can pull a worker off gas onto minerals. Just 2 on each of those gases is still going to get most of the mining. Not quite as much, but I think that's fine. I'm still letting +1 finish. I'm not 100% sure if I should be or not. He's going to go mutas, so as long as I hit pre-muta, I think we're good. What a wild game we're in, though. Where are we going to drop that Nidus Worm, man? I feel like up here would be good. This is a very delayed Nidus Worm, because we know he's massing units on 2 base. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys, Carapace and Roach Speed will be done in about 30 seconds. We're going to throw that up real soon behind there. He's watching for it. I mean, he does know what I'm doing. I think we're just going to throw it here. I don't think anything can see that. Probably should have put that in first, but that's all right.
Mutation. Metamorphosis.
Evo chamber to wall off my base. Big ball of roaches, guys.
The high cluster is under attack. Forces are under attack.
There we go. So even though I think he's got Carapace, and he does, so we're not two-shotting the Lings, if you just get the Roaches in enough of a wall, the Lings can't do damage. We also morphed Ravagers on the front line just to make sure that they were kind of blocking the ramp a little bit as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I could have pulled back with those Roaches to like the choke point a little bit more, walled off here or something, or here. The reason I didn't is because I know he's got a Spire on the way. Upgraded Ling players always play Spire afterwards. Upgraded Ling players they're basically very predictable. They always play Spire every time. So I know that's what I do every time, and everyone plays the game exactly the same way I play. So it's good to rush in there just to make sure he didn't get that muted transition off. So it's good to know. And yeah, just Spire. He's going Lurkers, playing the risky style, man. Well played. Yeah. I gave him a lot of surface area here, but I figured the ramp he's kind of struggling to get down. I was like, it's still most of his Lings are stuck behind the other Zerglings. And look at these 3 Ravagers. Look, all his Lings are like derping out. A few of them squeezed through. Dropped a few transfuses with that one Queen from behind as well. Now, Carapace would have been much better. I should have just cancelled +1 and gone Carapace. I think it would have still been ready in time for the big fight. And +1 literally did nothing for me. It changed nothing. So I think that's a good idea. I beat Uka with this build, but I forgot the Lurker Den and wasn't expecting the Nidus. My man. But yeah, I like the idea of Overseer Scout the moment my lair's done. I think in hindsight, I'd probably just morph it closer to his base just to get it there quicker. I mean, it was still a pretty damn early Overseer Scout, dude. He was on top of it. He saw it coming and he got in position. He had a macro hatchery as well. What a ledge. Yeah. So I actually had an economy advantage in this game because he's playing single gas, guys. I was on 40 drones versus 35. So as weird as it feels to be sitting 2 base with so few workers, if they don't have a third, I know they're rushing upgrades. I think that's an okay call. Could have built a few more Overlords here. My macro cycles were a bit derpy despite just massing units on 2 base. But at the end of the day, I like this idea of Overseer Scouting. Whether you're going for mutas, sneaky mutas, or you're going for the Nidus Worm. Normally I would have moved out and taken the third with a few Roaches guarding it, but in this game I knew that would just be giving free gifts to his Zerglings. So we just took no chances, and the whole trick was I needed to find a spot in the vision where he could not see the Nidus Worm popping up. And I was going to throw it back there, remember, but I was waiting for the upgrades to be almost finished. And then when they were almost finished, I saw his Overlord move to track my Overlord. And I was like, he'll see it and stop it. And I was like, there's no way this Overlord gets in. And if I grab it and move it towards the main, it's really obvious that I'm Nidus Worming. So I was looking around my map and I was thinking, where can he see? And I realized, look, he's got a creep tumor. He's not got one on the edge. It's there. So he sees to maybe here. Let's confirm. Yeah, he sees it actually all the way to the edge of creep. Sorry, I forgot. Creep vision is so big. But still, if he spreads the creep tumor, it's not going to see this until it finishes spreading. So the Nidus Worm is really good. So yeah, I think Nidus Worm, if you're playing 2-base builds, it's nice to have up your sleeve. You can do a much faster, dirtier Nidus Worm as well. Because there's so much to talk about that I'm not really like writing many notes for this episode. Nidus variation. So you want to get a 4th gas. So same opening. 4th gas nice and early. Which I guess you're kind of doing with mutas as well, right? The only thing is stop droning at 40 workers. 12 workers on natural minerals. That's it. Nidus Worm, once layer is up. Doesn't actually have to be immediately. You need to wait for a decent roach count anyway. Option, skip upgrades. Yeah, it's just a few drones less than 2 base. You can do it faster. Basically, option is cancel upgrades to get more roaches. Best with a faster, hard-hitting version, right? So if you're like, as long as you have the lava, you've just been injecting and stuff really well, then that can be really good. Speed or Nidus first? Well, you should be going speed pretty quickly just to make it look like you're going speed. But you can definitely go Nidus first, but you can usually afford them both, I believe. Should we go speed at all? Yeah, I definitely think you don't need speed at all. Standard is to cancel roach speed, but only if you can make use of the money, right? If you're hitting a later version of it, you're going to be floating money anyway, so you might as well get roach speed. But yeah, I'm still kind of loose on exactly how you want to do it because I think it's a bit situational based on how the opponent's playing. So we've got very standard, which is, so basically to summarize, standard version, +1 range, roach speed, 2 base, you know, Nidus Worm. You always have a fake third as well. Fake third base, just like muta build. Just like the muta build. Fake / for show third. Light version. Both upgrades cancelled. Go. Oh, I guess that's, yeah, so that's super light. And then there's light. Just that +1 range finish. Note, +1 carapace is better. Verse thing. Upgraded lings. Alright guys, so that about sums up Bronze to GM for this one. I think what we saw is that StarCraft's hard, and especially now as I get to playing a mixture of GM, and even the Masters players were putting up a really hard effort for me today. We saw that I haven't really practiced these very standard, like the Ravager Bane kind of standard ZVP for a while. Zerg vs Terran, I haven't been practicing Ling Bane for a while, and I'm rusty and talking a bit more while playing, even though I wasn't talking that much. Even that I found so challenging. It's really interesting to just see how much of a struggle it is for me right now as a player. But I hope you guys learnt a lot from us just pointing out all the little mistakes I was making. And perhaps it's even more educational for you to see me making the same mistakes you all do and pointing them out as I go, and pointing out that I just was getting too supply blocked, I wasn't scouting enough, wasn't droning enough, and I just needed to like really remember the systems, like Lair's done, send an Overseer in. Going for the Overlord Scout, build a few Overlords, because you know that Overlord's going to die in the next 30 seconds. Like, building those habits, I think, is really helpful here. So, I hope this helped you all out. Let me know in the comments. And we're going to be into the Terran Bronze to GM next. There will be a bit of a buffer. I think we're going to start that in about a month's time when I get back from Europe, maybe a month and a half. Just to give me some time to basically pump out some other content, because I haven't really done any fun challenges. After that, we'll do Terran and then Protoss Bronze to GM as well. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll do my best to answer questions in the comments. And thanks for hanging with me for the show, as well as the, I don't know, 80, 100 volunteers that actually came on to play all of the different leagues and episodes for this. This was really cool. Super experimental format. I think some of it was better because of it. Some of it was more difficult, but in the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with what we've done. So let me know your thoughts. In the next one, I think I might severely limit the number of like Diamond 2, Diamond 1 Masters Plus shows to just 1 or 2, like maybe 1 Diamond episode, 1 Masters episode, and do a few more kind of Gold and Plat where the majority of the population sits, and really like stretch out Plat and Gold into 2 episodes. So I might try that for the next one. Let me know what you think of that. I just think that's what most people are getting the most value from. And if we can see more games at that level and at that speed of play, and with me kind of slowly explaining everything, I think it'll give a bit more value to the audience. But of course, you guys are the audience, so let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next Bronze GM, and thank you, the mad, crazy people that have actually watched the entire thing, because it's not a short show. So I hope it's helped you on the ladder, and I really appreciated hearing all the messages already from people saying, oh my god, I leveled up, I got it promoted, and that sort of stuff, or hey, I've just got back into it, this is really helping. Thanks so much, everyone, for being so positive. Have a good one. See you later. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, Patreon, don't go. Give me money. Give me money. We haven't got that many views on this. Hopefully it picks up over the year, but you can click on the Patreon down below in the description if you want to give me money. That's a nice thing you can do. Thank you, everybody. See you in the next one. Bye.